100 Thieves on the attacking side. Looks like a little bit of aggression towards mid, and Leviatan's ready for it. They're waiting. They're sent a couple just down cut two themselves.
Huge first two picks right off the bat. And that high tide almost did work for Leviatán, but they've been so good in pistols, and all of a sudden advantage thrown away right off rip.
We'll see how this continues. Leviatán down in numbers, and they're starting to rotate back B, where the aggression is headed from 100 Thieves. Saw the wall from Asuna too, and that's another kill going in favor of the attacking side. This is an excellent start.
It's perfect abusing
Spike planted.
of the Viper wall cycles and fighting in front of it. And I'm wondering if this is the answer and solution against these Viper Harbor comps.
Yeah, just scrap. All right, just fight, get ahead of all the timing.
Flawless pistol. A much better start that we saw for 100 Thieves earlier in the week, and I would say this is for sure their harder matchup. But they struggled against Crew last week, especially on that first map, but you could tell thought went into how they want to approach the map, Vito, given their deficiencies on Ascent that we saw earlier against Crew. But Leviatán now, they do get their icebox in. This has been a very strong map for them. Honestly, one of their two best. This and Pearl.
Does remind me of a conversation I had with Stellar a little while ago, where it was actually right before Brazil, and we were talking about prep into the tournament, and he goes, I mean, I'm not really worried about it. Icebox, you can taste Icebox. We have Asuna, right? Like, he's just so comfortable, and he feels like this map is just a point of strength for their squad. So
look at the stack though here.
Excellent start, but as you were just mentioning, Leviatán, they have 4 here, and the 5th is just on the other side.
There's Molly, but it doesn't actually catch anybody.
Just going back and forth, bang, and sweep and kill. He's gonna get all of them.
We got a very rowdy crowd in here today, just on the anti-eco. But bang, with the Bulldog, one of the best Bulldog players in the league, just consistently relying on, and I love to see the confidence out from him and Asuna so far in these first 2 games. Looking now to see an approach towards A instead of a little bit more of that B default that we started off on.
Revealing.
And see how Leviatán approaches this. It's just the Viper and the Sova. Nosler and kiNgg. And their anchors have been really, really solid on this site, able to get one before falling out, but they rely so much on the retake, given the Harbor and the Viper wall cycling that they can rely on.
They just seem so drilled and so confident in those retake situations that you were just referring to, and they're going to get an opportunity at one again. This type difference out from 100 Thieves. It's not as scrappy. They're not going to want to scale, or they don't seem to be as interested in scaling up.
He TP'd up behind this, and that's without giving up noise, but he has to fall off, and Taco punishes him for it.
I mean, he fell off into the next round. Taco with a clean punish, as you were just saying, but the spike planted, so time becomes a factor. Leviatán have to take the aggression here.
Look at Derrek and Bang. Duoed up on top of the belt.
Still a molly, still a shock dart. Now both fired.
They're getting through it.
He's sticking it at this point. He's gotten it to half. But time is short. The excellent timing from Asuna is he's going to get another, but it's just not going to be enough. Yeah, 1.5 seconds.
Plenty of time. kiNgg stuck through that entire molly, and that's because actually Derrek and Bang, I was pointing out the fact that they were up on top of belt, getting ready to combo their shock, the Viper Orb and the mollies together, but they only had one remaining, and I think it was missed times because they wanted to at least have more time denying the spike rather than more significant spike denial. And that's a scary, scary stat for everybody.
Yeah, that's ominous.
Cheering for 100 Thieves so far. 3-0, Leviatán. Remember that game against Xset?
First real gun round here. And 100 Thieves again, wanting to explore the middle of the map. There's turret that's going to spot some of that action. Or they smoke it off. Oh.
Just ahead of
They
it.
were just ahead of it, yeah.
They would have saw it anyways. Shyy looking for a spam. That smoke is giving him a lot of room to do exactly that.
We wondered whether or not it would be in part of the game plan for 100 Thieves to fight ahead of these walls, ahead of this utility that denies vision. And while it seemed like that was going to be the case early on, they have to slow down here a little bit.
I like that from Cryo again. Some signs that you're seeing confidence renewed, and Derrek actually finds a pick all the way to Snowman.
Onto Taco too, who's been such a key part of the conversation for Leviatán.
Mazino keeps it
You will not kill my
in their court for now, but Asuna getting the res up real quick. Wondering now, though, how they go and try to take the spike, because there's 3 players
left.
here. It's all going to be on Cryo on this lurk, but that turret's still up from earlier.
Finally clear. The paranoia is going to hit too. You still have NTR, who's back side, back Snowman, who has not been cleared.
Look at Shy's discipline there. He gets the first kill off the off angle, and he falls off and doesn't challenge anymore.
Leviatán once again, post-plant positions. This time the Cove to provide a little bit of cover in the swing back yellow. They challenge 100 Thieves. And they walk away with a tremendous amount of success.
That is a beautiful string of pieces of utility there.
It is over.
And a monstrous round from Shyy. Holds off on the push through kitchen, denies them from even breaking that turret, which ended up being a costly mistake for Cryo walking through mid. And then he stays alive that entire time.
And crazy too, half a step, right?
Yeah.
Like half a step on that turret at the very beginning of the round. Just wild how timings can have such a drastic impact on the round. Either way, tied at 2 apiece here. Leviatán still with guns, 100 Thieves not with the same amount of bark in this round, but as we've seen before, it's often in 1 hour's weakness. That's the other team's danger, so we'll see how these play out.
They've swapped kiNgg and Taco on the A side. So Taco's getting really aggressive here. Asuna's trying to hold on.
Does he know? It's just a stinger. He didn't know.
Good
Nice
trade.
though.
Spike down.
Derrek
A.
was really far away. I'm surprised he's even looking in that direction.
He was ready for it.
And if he didn't trade that, I think Stellar might have gone down too. So things even, but the big tools right now, you're looking at the ults. You got the KJ lockdown, but countered by Derrek's Sova ult too. And he just got that online because of that kill.
Yeah, they should be able to upgrade a weapon as well. Remember, Taco's aggression left a Vandal, if I'm not mistaken, right by where Derrek is. And yeah, he just picked it up.
No wall though to get this plant, and with those KJ mollies too, that might actually be a more difficult task than you might think. Nice shock, instantly breaking down the alarm bot that he heard get placed but didn't see it.
Plant the spike. 30 seconds left.
Looks like they're trying to ping for smokes, yeah, to come through, so they can go for this plant.
Nowhere to run!
There are not a lot of options where you can plant, but Derrek goes aggressive.
He's using this before. They still have KJ ult to come back into this. This retake is still super strong.
It looks like they were trying to use it to provide some cover, to create some space for the spike to go down.
And they invest the Viper Spit, but he's gonna get cleared out of this. I don't know about that.
The pit down, the Hunter's Fury wasted. Yeah, the spike planted.
Oh, the TP in! Oh!
It's a 1-for-1. Just 2 left on the side of 100 Thieves. 2 might be enough, though. They've gotten it to half. It's just onto Derrek in this 1v2. He's going to spot a shoulder. Oh, but the spam's not enough damage. That was so close.
And if he got that faster, he might have been able to take the duel against Shyy. That was a cool play. I was questioning. There, they actually wanted that lockdown to come in. That's why Derrek put his ult in at the beginning of the round, because they wanted to use the pit, fall off, and have Cryo TP back into it while everybody's low, where Leviatán is going to be swarming inside that pit, knowing that lockdown clears it. A very cool play. And something that Coach Mike is constantly thinking about. How to use these ults effectively, and you remember back at Lock-in, that was one of the key reasons why Fnatic was able to pick them apart, was their ult combinations.
Cheeky little orb denial at the beginning of the round. They still have the Reckoning from Mazino too. And an op in the hands of Taco, and that's exactly where they're pushing into. He's got the crosshair train. See who he can find, but he has to give the space up.
And remember Asuna here inside this hit. Last time he got picked off first with the guns though. And the Sage will now be able to plant.
Spike planted.
Cryo's consistently getting some really nice TPs and angles.
What's funny too is there was conversation around the losing some of the scaling ability with Omen, but it seems like Cryo comfortable enough to go aggressive in those situations. Taco with Blades Online tries to get up high, tries to find something, anything that he can take with him. But it's just space, just tempting wisps of locations. Oh, I thought he was gonna land that, but no, he's punished. Op still in hand. All right, time just slowly ticking away. You see how impressive Harbor can really be. The span there, he walked right into it. This looks like this is gonna go off. Yes, it is.
And despite the first 2 rounds, Leviatán stringing 3 in a row together. But 100 Thieves finding success in the post plant that is a massive win condition to find some of those early because Leviatán is so reliant on them. We saw it in the game against MABR. We know the strength of this comp. It's consistently relying on those retakes that gets them wins on Icebox. So 100 Thieves, a couple of really good ideas in a row. Even that last round could have gone their way. I think this is a very promising start.
Aggression from Leviatán. Trying to set Taco up for an early pick. And he wants to go back in.
Oh, Nosworth popping his Zoldy, actually able to combine that with Taco's aggression and almost finds himself a kill, but instead, Stellar's HP gets healed back up, but the drone coming to find them. Once again, remember that approach from them in the prior. They had 2 people, both Stellar and Bang, lurking up and trying to break that turret.
Oh, all good. Asuna, you can get up there first. Commits to it, put the walls up. Oh, putback hasn't been cleared. Small mistakes there, and kiNgg's just gonna have a field day with it as he's dancing around the box looking for the third, not able to do so. Cryo on the trade, Spike still not planted. And it's just sitting up in nest.
Look at that dart, just cleared everything in front of the high tide too. So Mazino has full comfortability to walk up here and control the Spike, which they're not certain is still up there.
This is going to be really difficult for Thieves to get back into. Yeah, the Spike getting down in nest made it to where they have to establish so much control around the area to commit to the Spike, and they just could not.
And to bring it back to that conversation about scaling, you're seeing Cryo in a lot of these instances when he gets up on TPs, he has to TP back out or fall off as the retake begins because of the utility, and he's the only one to receive. In that instance right there, we saw it was Asuna in that same position after he went for the wall plant up in nest. And there's nobody to support, nobody able to even trade.
Early timeout called. What a 1-round lead for Leviatán. Early though, you were just saying this a couple moments ago, Bala. It really does feel like a promising start for both teams. It feels like they're pushing each other at just the right places, and they're committing to their game plans, and it's matching up quite well.
And there's ideas on both sides too. Ones that we haven't quite seen.
Nice, we got a Hiko sign.
He's still on the team. I'm loving what we're seeing out of both of these teams. In specific, Leviatán fighting in the difference in that last one where kiNgg is actually anchoring on the site. And he finds 2. He could have found 3. He could have ended the round by himself.
Yep. I thought he was going to.
And I think that's kind of a reason why you actually see Asuna or Cryo in the site by themselves, is because Leviatán has been so known to play these retakes. Now, because kiNgg does that 1 round, you can no longer do that the rest of the game. So that's going to be a conversation that they had in that timeout. And kiNgg, I think for the rest of the game, is probably going to be happy to start falling off of the site a lot more. And they've broken the economy of them again.
Here.
With no huge ults online for the next little bit, although Stellar and Asuna close.
Deploying drone.
I don't know that drone's going to get far enough with Kerbeck Yellow, but either way, Taco ahead of it, tried to land something
Love that.
early.
Huge wide swing there from Taco after the drone has gone some distance, where the drone is starting to clear underneath them and not ahead of them.
Toxin screen down.
It's a great idea. Oh, not able to execute the first time. Dang. I thought he was going to keep going.
Has to hide in the smoke now, though. And we've seen 100 Thieves be so aggressive here. Past this Viper wall before.
Spike planted.
There it is. There's the aggression you were just alluding to. Bang swinging around Cryo with another. This is a light gun round for 100 Thieves.
And Taco has an op, too. And they've got full control of the site. This duel.
Cryo just upgraded a weapon as well. Oh, the timing is everything.
Asuna on the reflank, though. They have so much control. 100 Thieves has this round locked up. I think Leviatán is starting to look to save, actually.
Yeah, take that op into the next round. Taco has nothing currently as far as credit goes.
And it's crazy because if you think about that smoke that got put down when the crowd that you hear right now is getting very scared for kiNgg's timing. If that omen wasn't being played,
Thrifty.
then they wouldn't have had a spot to hide from kiNgg, and that could have been a 2K, instantly a 3v3. Wow. Quick timeout from 100 Thieves earlier, but we just had this, so Owner is livid about what he just saw.
There's something he didn't like, that's for sure.
And you know, that Owner has such a focus on eco rounds, on bonus rounds, on these rounds that teams deem a little bit less important to practice. Love to see what he's trying to talk about right now in this timeout, because it's a clear thing that needs to be fixed, that needs to be covered up. And I think that's now 3 rounds that 100 Thieves has had the opportunity to push past the Viper wall with those omen smokes. Cryo's doing a great job in this map so far.
Plenty of reasons to cheer, really, for both squads. But you're right, I think there's something about how, especially in these scrappy rounds, man, like 100 Thieves are comfortable even with the lighter buy to just go at Leviatán.
I think one of the interesting things about the way that these 2 matches earlier in the Super Week went for 100 Thieves, went for Leviatán, there were stark differences. Leviatán stopped MIBR. They didn't even have a challenge. Whereas 100 Thieves had to come back after a stomp of their own. And it was not pretty, but this look that we're seeing is certainly playing back up to the expectation that everybody had. And they need to start having this over and over, game after game. They don't have room to start slow.
I don't think they know that Taco got up to nest. They might suspect it given all of the utility that was dumped.
Oh, but even worse, I think that drone gives Taco a false sense of security about what's going on Bell, but with all that Guardian spam, should be much happier. Nosser's trying to cover him right now.
Dude, kiNgg has been cold, man.
He has always been cold. He's one of the highest rated players in the Americas League as the IGL.
Second cascade used from Mazino, a little bit of spam through the wall. It's just enough to delay 100 Thieves for now.
And remember, those cascades are a little bit more effective right now because they've already used that drone, but Derrek comes through, darts up, and that allows them to get the res back online. Dart here, oh my goodness, Nosra, there's a scan. Look at the idea there. Nosra's at mid, he's at boiler right now, and he throws that dart for them. A hard one to break, too. Lands right on top of the 100 Thieves players right now, and they've actually whittled this time down to 30 seconds. This pit as well is going to keep them out.
Preemptive too. Realizing the time is of the essence.
For a snowman plant.
Have to go fast. They put the pit down. They try to get off the wall to provide some cover too. Mazino could spam through it all.
My ultimate is ready.
Oh, this is super interesting because the lockdown is now available and he puts it back yellow, which actually does cover the plant. Whereas the regular space would have not covered the plant. Leviatán has no real room to work into right now, and they're giving up the pit. I think this is another save.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Look at how far up 100 Thieves are. There's just no room for Leviatán to work. They're daring him to challenge. They're daring him to swing. Egged on a little bit, but he landed the shot anyway.
Nazra fell too. This battle. It's consistent at the end of the round when these B takes come in, and that's a huge success. I think Owner is going to be really unhappy about that, and obviously he's not going to want to use his timeout in this first half. Because I'm sure that's exactly what they just talked about, was how that B hit. And I think everything that led up to that was to plan. They got them with 20 seconds. They had a pit going down. It's just the last consideration. They missed that one. And it all falls to pieces.
See that early aggression spotted. Early on, they spotted Taco. They spotted NZR. He had to back up. Now using a drone of his own, his 100 Thieves want to take this a bit more pacey. I don't know what kind of delay there is for them to have to dance around. Asuna's getting up top. What a cheeky wall! But an excellent response from NZR. In the face of the reckoning, Stellar with nothing to do. Derrek as well. NZR just needs one.
Shadows traveling. See if you can give the Latam fans what they want. Not quite, but the round win will suffice. 5-5, they even things back up. And I'm not even sure who's in control of this game right now. There's so much successes on both sides. I'm looking at Leviatán and that B site hold. Surprised to see 100 Thieves go away from it, but I like the cheeky attempt from Asuna to really open up that round. But on that B side, I'm thinking one more little fix from Leviatán, and all of a sudden they're holding that site. Hundred Thieves need to keep up the aggression in these post plants, because it's working so beautifully.
Yeah, that has been a key to success for them for sure. Oh, he heard that. He saw that.
Yeah, but
he
this is too much. Oh, no, it's not.
Left him.
And they dink Derrek too. That is a huge success. I thought kiNgg was going to die there for sure, but nobody is ready to swing through that high tide. Bang wanted to, but you could tell Derrek was hesitant. Even though that would have saved Cryo, that Cryo's a pivot point for them. They are able to move around the map because of his omen. Losing him, you all of a sudden can't do what has been so successful for you on this B side. Just pushing into the site itself or into the spawn even.
Yeah, the only agent on that side with any sort of utility like that.
Derrek has been so good at responding in situations like this.
Take flight.
And they've given up space to plant here. Asuna's getting the wall down, and the high tide even covers him even if the wall falls. And that high tide is not going to be available for the re-hit once this lockdown comes up from Shyy. They need to get aggressive.
That should counter Derrek's ult as soon as it goes down. But you kind of put him in a tough spot, right? Do you commit to the ult or do you commit to the defuse? They do clear out the ult, but the space has been taken by Leviatán. Mazino's already gotten on the tap, and he's got a cove. There's going to be a swing out from the defensive side. That's going to keep them at bay for now. A 1-for-1 quickly turns into a 2v2. NCR on the tap. The shot dart screaming by his face. The dart in front of him as well. They've got to take the fight, and they do.
My goodness. Talk about down to the wire. Talk about
Last round before
getting yourself back into this. 100 Thieves fighting, but Leviatán even more. This opening was huge from them. This is not the type of advantage you've seen so far in this game based off these aggressive plays. Normally Taco is getting traded. And actually thinking back to that Taco round, that was Derrek again. Derrek in this round was such a beast. I can't believe he got the Hunter's Fury off on the lockdown and it instantly spammed down Taco. The awareness on this guy is insane. He's playing at a level he hasn't shown yet at this America's League.
Leviatán are so committed to this early A aggression. But once again, it seems like 100 Thieves sniffing some of it out, want to go aggressive into that. They've already established control of the site.
Welcome to my world.
Hit back up too. No key ults to force him out. No drone from Nazra either.
Looks like it's going to be a 5v5 close plan to clear out the half, and we wouldn't have it any other way. First couple of kills going in favor of Leviatán.
Player standing.
It all falls onto Asuna. Oof, that was so clean.
I mean, just the spray through that all is ridiculous. Blink and you miss it. I think Asuna there too, coming out of the pit, all of a sudden he is losing track of what's actually happening on that wall. And so he pays for it.
You see how proficient they are in their retakes. A belligerently bellicose brawl for Leviatán. They walk away with the round win in their area that they're comfortable. So clean. A 7-5 half in favor of Leviatán. We're going to throw it down to the desk to break down the first half.
Thank you so much, fellas. And I gotta say, this is exactly what I wanted. I just wanted a great game. I wanted two fantastic teams really just slugging it out, and that's exactly what we're getting here, Riv.
I think 100 Thieves has a better start than they could have hoped for already on this. The 5 is good enough. If their defense is the way 100 Thieves plays defense, I think they had really good reads towards the mid, covering any of the lurks that Leviatán would have had, but they still couldn't stop a few of those Leviatán retakes.
Yeah, this was a game that was defined by adaptation, but also by the retakes. What we expected coming into this match is rounds like this one, where 100 Thieves would lose an early advantage and would be allowed to get this spike plant down. You can see that for Leviatán. They're playing super far back. They actually replace the turret in the mid round, which spots out Cryo. When he goes for this lurk a little bit too early, he gets punished for that. And then Leviatán shrink back together. They don't overcommit to fight off that kill. Instead, they continue to play together and work back into this retake to eventually win it with some great util combos back yellow and Shyy popping off. But the thing is, they were only 5 in 10 in retakes, which is still great. But 100 Thieves realized the adaptation they needed to make. They started fighting deep in these post plants, making changes to the way that they were playing, which meant they got a far stronger half. And the ability to make that adaptation gives me confidence in 100 Thieves.
We also have the timeout wars coming out within the rounds between round 8 and the next round, where it's just like, no, you want to see owner make a change to the team rather, and they do it pretty quick.
Makes me wonder how, like, you know, I think about like the way the 100 Thieves are kind of like changing their game plan. You can even see it. There was one round where like they pushed into A but didn't clear the back. It's like they're little things that like they're not doing, but it's still better than what we saw in the past on their attacking. I felt like they were a little bit more confident.
I concur with that. 100 Thieves, it seems like the confidence is back for this team. In the second half now, it's going to continue to be defined by these retakes. Watch for Cryo's Omen and the way he uses smokes when they're retaking space and that paranoia. 100 Thieves is good at it, but Leviatán, they have that structure and they're up at the half.
It's going to be an excellent second half. Let's send it back over to Doug and Paula.
Thank you, Golden Boy. Yeah, we can only hope that it's going to be an excellent closing to the half, because the first half delivered in ways that we're all pleasantly surprised with. But yeah, a 2-round lead for Leviatán Bala, and now Mimi was talking about it a little bit. Very curious to see how Cryo on the Omen plays these retake chaotic situations where he can teleport into smokes and just cause chaos.
And you know there's ideas. We've seen it over and over again for them. That's the strength of this comp. And we actually saw some more ideas for him on the attack than I think we've seen so far from their icebox approaches, so I'm wondering if they've even developed even further. It's slow from Leviatán. Cautious. Taco leading the charge with the Sheriff. And the timing on the wall is perfectly proactive.
All of that utility that you have to navigate around, it really just feels like an icebox. No area is safe. Stellar on the swing. Taco tried dashing forward, but he just falls. Fortunate timing for Stellar. kiNgg still trying to dance around backside.
They're holding screens for so long with these.
And then a frenzy on the other side. So well done.
Beautiful approach from Leviatán. Quiet, but then the high tide gains them the sight. And Mazino didn't even buy his cove in that pistol round. He bought double cascade. And we saw in the earlier game on Icebox from them and Loud, the ideas on these pistols, how the cove, you would think it's so strong given the HP, and against pistols it's taking a long time to break down, but no, they're the extra scaling. The extra step for them allows that post plant to be strong. So like we expected the retakes to be good for them, we expect those post plants too. Even though in the first half they might be in the lead, but their retakes, they were actually not playing so well on them. We saw at the half 5 for 10
area.
in comparison to that MIBR game. Drastic difference. They were almost perfect.
Ult going over, or ult orb, excuse me, going over to Mazino. Now just 3 points away from the reckoning. Very clearly a point of their early plans. 100 Thieves look like they want to go aggressive. They've already scaled 2 past 410, trying to clear things out. An exploratory mission, perhaps.
What a difference in pace for both of these teams. You can tell it's 2 different teams on the attack side right now. 100 Thieves is trying to feel out exactly when this hit is going to come through, but they aren't able to gamble fast enough. Banks still gets some ollie off, though, and that could deny for quite some time.
So you see the efficacy of this double wall comp from Leviatán. That harbor wall is a little bit deeper, and it's just so much more difficult to deal with.
The second step again. Follow-up cascade on Snowman, and this is what 100 Thieves did to them, but Leviatán is just interested in that original duel, and then they follow up, and look at that Cove as well to allow them to fall back. It's really nicely considered. Although it might give space for 100 Thieves in the future rounds to actually fall through that. Bang with a nice pick. They're on the tap.
It's just another trade. Whoa, Derrek gets so far up. They lose a couple of weapons, but Leviatán get through the round nonetheless.
And you can paint a different picture when you start to think about the way that this score is developed. And given the fact that 100 Thieves won that pistol, won the anti-eco in that first round, Leviatán has been strong. If that wasn't the case, we might be looking at 11-3 scoreline instead.
One enemy remaining.
So now 100 Thieves has to do what Leviatán did in that first half and clap back strongly here. Get a string of rounds. Otherwise, we're looking at a required comeback of them. Pacey, though.
Very pacey, and Asuna's there to greet. But it's traded back. They had everyone here. Asuna, bang, cryo. And that's enough to give them numbers advantage late in the round.
Just Noswer in this bonus is doomed to fail. Just the Bulldog, but Arcane Sheriff in hand. Can he find a little bit more damage and make the next round even more difficult? Yeah, spots the Vandal. Looking to possibly save even. Get one orb. The A orb actually might be open too. I think he's definitely looking to save at this point. 50 seconds. Can he find even an opening though? Looking to see if there's any mistakes given by 100 Thieves, but it doesn't look like it. Derrek is droning, darting, daring Noswer to peek into him.
Oh,
30
kneecap.
seconds left.
Oh, there's a gap. 25 seconds, and it's pulling rotations, actually. It's pulling rotations. Noswer has a chance all of a sudden.
My, my, my. What have we here?
All right, guys, don't try to give it up. Come on now.
Revealing area.
10 seconds left.
He's going to get the spike down.
Despite distractions, Noswer now eyes on the prize. 1v2 against Stellar and Bang.
While 100 Thieves try to cauterize what's happened before them, they're both going to swing out together. Stellar on the tap, Bang close by. Noswer from up top. They lined up for just a moment, but Bang stops it. That's about as much value as you could possibly get out of that round if you're NZR, though.
Oh, for sure. Getting one gun down. Getting the plant as well. I thought about the idea of going for the A orb, but the plant will suffice. They get money into this, and this follow-up round is almost as difficult in a lot of instances as the bonus is itself. So 100 Thieves now, they're the ones who have the economic disadvantage in some sense. And Mazino, he's got that reckoning. It's harder to use Bang's ult in a more obvious position, and Mazino can cancel it out even if he does. He's going to use it immediately at the beginning of this round. Leviatán not giving up on that fast pace that earned them a punish in that last round.
Taco can try to hunt Bang here with the Qs from the Reckoning to get the pit out, yeah.
Instant cancel of Bang's ult. That's what I was talking about, how reactive you can be as Mazino, whereas Bang can be less so. Ooh, this is a deep harbor wall. Cove again, not used yet.
Not yet, but a second cascade up. Mazino giving some of the space back. Once again, another 5v5 post plant.
Doc Molly coming in. Taco's got to be careful. A little bit of damage done, but not too much.
They're just trading everything here. But it looks like the opening's going to favor Leviatán, but the volley for Bang! That's where once again in a 1v2.
Scanning ahead.
Asuna has already gotten it to half. He's just gonna stick it the whole way. There's no dare, there's no challenge. The swing was late.
What will it be this time?
And the score
Patterns
will
emerge yet.
be just in time, swinging in the other direction. There's a 4-round streak for Leviatán in the first half. 100 Thieves are looking to match that and tie this game up when all is said and done. What a stick. What a play. What a reply.
Guardian in the hands of Derrek. You've got the res for Asuna as well. Perhaps want to play around that, maybe get something early, but no, it seems like they're comfortable playing with 4 on A. A bit passively as well. That paranoia from Cryo was good. Look at how far up he's gone. Look at how far up he's gone!
This one way is absolutely brutal. Leviatán looked lost running through it. I mean, every single player from Leviatán tried to get through. What has happened to their game plan? Leviatán is normally so pliable with it, but here, steadfast in their approach. It's so aggressive in the last 3. For what reason? Relying on the shift of pace to try to catch 100 Thieves off guard, and that's not working. Stellar fully understanding this situation, his players step up to the plate.
They do have on the side of Leviatán the lockdown in the 100 Fury.
Look at these aggressive Omen smokes. Cryo in the last one went top belt. This time he smokes off the right side and TP's belt instead. So much misdirection from him in this original early round approach.
Asuna's tucked. Man. They've tried a couple of times now to go really aggressive on both sides, honestly. They want to continue to brawl.
Down A.
Dude, he got again that gen angle and found Mazino, so the harbor gone, and that's the plant idea. And all of a sudden you need to rely on some of this extremity. Watch some of the pressure coming down mid. Shyy is going to duel with Bang.
Or is he just gonna walk back? He got spotted.
He got tagged from the bottom of tube there by that drone.
To even have the wherewithal to check that. Knowing there was a turret in kitchen. Just so well done by defense side.
And you don't have the fallback options here from kiNgg, so gotta take the duels and win them.
30 seconds left.
Stella's pre-firing that.
I'd brush up a little bit. Taco has to find more value out of his blades. Oh my gosh, Taco!
What?
That was pure filth! And that might have won them the round. But Derrek's clutch.
Look at this crossfire.
Derrek's cold. And he's once again in a 1v2.
Sova's
Scanning ahead.
been asked to put up so much work, and it's a missed dart.
Making things a little more difficult. The second tap. Oh, the 100 Fury, he got that out. Oh, I thought he was gonna get the kill. Second pulse on the 100 Fury never comes. They're just gonna challenge him directly. That was so clean from Leviatán. The timing on that crossfire at the end was gorgeous.
Surprised that Nosber actually was able to escape. Looked like his foot was gonna show and cost him his life and allow that duel. But even then, Tacolilla was in such a position that couldn't really be hit. I love that. So insane from Taco. He gets the first kill on that one on Asuna. Back over towards A. And you can tell when the pace is shifted, Leviatán is very happy to play within. And 100 Thieves don't get quite that 4-round streak that Leviatán did. And now Derrek is actually in a tough spot. That's a little bit of weird buy, a mismatch of choices here. Asuna full buys, but Derrek doesn't.
You should run.
Stellar's alarm bot is close by. You wonder here if they do want to commit to this B after having invested the lockdown to rotate back A. That's another bit of investment. That harbor wall is going to be difficult to get through.
Taco is way too consistent with that. Asuna and the rest of 100 Thieves has that in the strat book, and they just spam it down behind the high tide.
Keeping the cove again.
Oh!
And that may have cost Mazino his life.
Even without that, that's slow. And the Molly just biting into him. 3v5, but they still have the pit up here. This is not a done deal.
Cryo on the flank.
Healing area.
The rest of 100 Thieves up front, 2 back yellow. Derrek the first to fall, but Cryo on the trade. That flank could be good. Asuna's going to keep it in the face of the spam. Cryo's timing cracks the round open.
Fast response. And this game is still so close. Heroics on both sides. This one, though, comes down to that game plan, comes down to that anti-stratting from 100 Thieves. In the past, it's been a prep-heavy team, but we don't quite know how to characterize this 100 Thieves team this year here in LA. And there you saw it.
One-run lead here for Leviatán. It does seem like 100 Thieves have come into this with a little bit more swagger to them, and perhaps it's in the face of ideas or whatever it is that's gotten them to this point. But they're much more confident, it seems like, in taking these early fights. And the truth is, you have your star players delivering when you need them to as well.
Yeah. Bang, 19 and 13. Always such a strong force on this map. Cryo delivering and looking more comfortable than ever on this Omen. I think everybody was wondering and asking, because I think they changed their opinion and shifted and said Asuna has to have good games based off of the way that he came alive and saved the game for them against Crew. But that's not how this team is built. But still,
Right here.
performing. Shock Molly, Mazino's dead!
Gorgeous setup.
There they are.
And they may find more!
King's going through, though. Oh,
Toxin screen down.
thought the Cascade might leave a little sooner than that. And we did have a Vandal invested in this round from Leviatán. Nahas are with it now, but look at 100 Thieves. Just back all the way up, and this is giving kiNgg the room to
Enemy remaining.
go for something, but it's not too much.
It's so disciplined by 100 Thieves. And understanding that Leviatán had light by. Yeah, not even able to keep that weapon. A flawless round as we're tied at 10.
Temptation for Leviatán constantly to trance through all the utility that 100 Thieves is putting through on them at the beginning of the round, and it's hurting them. I think on both the anti-ecos, they really haven't had a solid approach at all. That one was out of the timeout, so they knew, they had a call for it. And I think you see all their players really buying into it and going for it. But there has to be a room to pivot. And after losing those first two, and even given what 100 Thieves did, the shock Molly not even considered.
Reckoning takes the space. And the high tide secures it.
Yes, they can take the site, but they need to not lose anybody. Leviatán. It's been over and over. They get spammed.
And you see some of that damage.
Oh, Shorty.
He just can't see anything, man. Protected by the cove for just a moment. Taco going aggressive, spamming right into Taco.
Enemy tag.
Now 3 spotted, one of them lit up. You see them all running away. Utility use Shyy once again. Spotted and lit up.
Oh.
Trying to get away. Bang is aggressive on this.
They're kiNgg, he's got
just
it.
gonna hold it the whole way.
How does that happen? Letting them hear how they feel about that Red Bull clutch. Derrek sticks his way through. And Leviatán, there are moments here where you look like, and you ask, are they kicking themselves for some of these mistakes? Because it feels like they're compensating in some cases. This one, they walk into the pit, they plant inside the pit. kiNgg is running around with this molly. We're into the next round. Hold up, look at this flank. kiNgg is already up mid.
Stellar's ready for it, but kiNgg already finds value. Derrek and Stellar on the high low. Derrek ahead of it. Stellar ahead of it, excuse me, and he falls.
And they've cracked the round right open. Simply by kiNgg. Taco ended up dashing top tube at the beginning of this round. And kiNgg used that time to pressure walk through his orb. And there haven't been many pieces of utility covering in that position. Even though they haven't even been pressuring mid too often, so maybe Stellar starts to take his alarm bot and put it back towards A.
Right there.
Either way, Leviatán, first round where it feels like they have an advantage on this attack side when they plant the spike. They've been able to quite frequently.
Walls up.
There's money for 100 Thieves, so I imagine they're going to go for this one. Maybe if you catch something early with the drone, you go for it, but either way, it looks like they do want to scale forward. Derrek with the dart. Instantly cleared out. No info given over. I mean, not a crumb. First shock dart off of the alarm bot being cleared. Now Derrek on the tap. Moving forward, a clean snap. But it's a 1v3, and he can't pull that one off. Tied at 11 again.
Looking at the economy, 100 Thieves in very good position. Leviatán as well, so it's going to be a brawl to close out this game. Somebody needs to win. 2 more in a row.
One enemy remaining.
Leviatán looking for their 3rd to close out this game. It's a timeout for 100 Thieves, and the ults are stacked. We've got a full house.
Just a couple moments left in this timeout as you see both coaches talking over the situation. It does not seem like either team is willing to really take a step back, right? They're so committed to their plans. You can tell they want to fight early. And that's been probably the funnest part of this map ball, is that they're just going at each other. They're just continuing to clash early in the rounds.
Yeah. I think Leviatán has been a little over-eager on that. You could tell some of the approaches when they're slow. Their players are hitting shots. Mazino is looking very snappy. It's just, in some cases, he doesn't get in position to hit those shots.
But then there are other rounds, like the previous one, where kiNgg goes aggressive up mid. He finds a ton of value, and they find themselves in a 4v2.
Those ones are where they're abusing more of the gaps that can be created with the aggressiveness and not just barreling up one side, but looks like it might be that same idea. Look at this weird setup for Stellar, actually. Alarm bot, 2 mollies on the left side. They're expecting something cheeky here from Leviatán when it comes to this A hit. But also, he's holding space for that lockdown because there's no counter right now for Nosworth. There is an orb for him to pick up to get the Hunter's Fury. I wonder if 100 Thieves have considered that.
My ult is ready.
There's the orb. There's the ult. Like you just mentioned, that was
Derrek
early.
Oh, he's gonna catch Nosworth. He's gonna catch him.
Oh, he didn't land it.
And Nosworth had to cancel it though.
Now Stellar's lockdown can go through
Right here.
without any challenge. Another 5v5, another brawl.
Not yet.
In these post-plant situations, Spike ticking away, the spam through as the dart lights up Mazino. Feeling the pressure every which way it possibly can come, and he's gonna get the sticky once again. Oh, he got more than half though. But the job is not done. Bang! Gonna attempt to do what Asuna cannot, and he does! Another defuse taken away while Leviatán is 4 alive!
Oh my goodness, if Taco went down, they might not even be able to scrape together a buy. That is 3 rounds now where 100 Thieves have just stuck the spike. The post plant is getting absolutely demolished by Leviatán right now. 100 Thieves with a game plan to rip apart the retakes in that first half, and now the post plants in this second.
They're just so confident in the face of the chaos.
I suggest you move.
Early reckoning. Very early. They're looking for it again. Cryo's gonna ult to join the fray and join the spam, but there's nobody in position right now. Mazino's actually avoiding that shock dart with a nice plant.
You should run.
Nothing to counter the lockdown this time around. kiNgg 1 point away from his pit. If he gets something cheeky here, he can drop that and potentially secure the round.
This is significant. The time bought here. 100 Thieves starts the retake a lot earlier. Asuna's still with the wall. They have a res too. This post plant might end up being successful just because of that extra time bought.
It's going to be chaos yet again. Another 5v5.
They're pushing, they're pushing.
Everything's spamming through. Stellar's gotten through with it. As you see the shock darts, you see the utility, but Mazino's got behind enemy lines. kiNgg's gonna have to hold it on his own. He's gotten one. The time is short. He's got to hold it. He's got to hold it. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! A Red Bull clutch, and we're going to overtime.
Switching sides.
By the skin of his teeth. 1v3.
Player standing.
And the slow was just misplaced. If that slow was in position, I think both these players get these kills. kiNgg is cold, and he does it again. Brings it to OT. We've seen him do that so many times.
What a way to start off the day, huh?
Nice Heine Icebox 0.0. Celebratory one, too. You might not get to see this map too much longer. Served us well in instances like this. OT. First of its kind, and Taco getting aggressive.
Last cannon down low.
They swap sides, remember.
I don't remember him holding this angle before. He did plenty of aggressive things on the defensive side towards A, but never quite like this.
That was always on top of Belt, now below. See how far 100 Thieves protocols go.
You gotta be careful if you're Taco here. No armor.
I have the spike.
Backside up, keeps the op.
Deploying drone.
You see the pings on the minimap. It seems like they do want to end A. The drone to clear the way. Taco spotted. Does he have dash? Yeah, he does. It's procced. In the face of the paranoia, he gets away.
Nice tag there from Nosworth. But the dart does connect. And that counter molly for the nest plant does shift the perspective for 100 Thieves right now. Facing down this post plant. Remember, Leviatán strong on retakes, but it wasn't that great in the first half. Here we go.
I hope you guys like 5v5 post plants, because we're getting another one. Derrek down low, taking 2 down with him.
Cryo's position, obscured by his one-way.
Bang's backing on up. He has 2 mollies, too. Once again, that is a part of the play. Taco's up, done. And now Shyy having to navigate all that. Timing is kind to him. As Shyy goes aggressive with the knife out. He manages to get the fight, and Stellar wins it. 100 Thieves map point.
Switching sides. Match point.
My goodness. This game is ridiculous.
One enemy remains.
Cryo with the reposition underneath. We didn't see on that first half him have any success with those aggressive TPs. There, he had one. And there, they didn't push him off because he was well safe. That's the adjustment they made coming in the overtime. That scares me. Leviatán. They struggled a little bit more on the attack side. But it's a much more spread default this time. But look at 100 Thieves, aggressive down mid.
kiNgg's ready for it.
This angle, though.
That's all right. It works out anyway. He's expecting more. But there's a crossfire. Shyy. Oh, he's tempted to swing. Spots just the shoulder. Now position given away. And yeah, Cryo's going to be able to get out, but they're leaving Asuna here. Oh, the wall.
Allows him to cross back.
Yeah, but now he's not going to have it for later in the round.
Yeah, and we've seen how that's been a critical part on their retakes. Doug, that's a good call. The key part, too, is they have gotten already one of the retake mollies down in the sense of kiNgg. I'm wondering now, Mazino's high tide comes back up. Will we see one of those aggressive pushes from Leviatán in the post plant that we've seen in the pistol? Because of that lack of extra post plant from kiNgg. The IGL dead now calling for his team. 20 seconds left. What's the plan to stay alive in this game?
The dart early, Taco dashing back. They use the cove as cover.
As we're staying up. Taco staying up. Everybody staying up.
4v4 is now time becomes a factor. 100 Thieves looking to put Leviatán away in this opening best of 3. Bang gets tagged, Bang gets dropped. Is Taco looking for more? And he may find it. No, Stellar's on the trade. And now Stellar's left in this 1v3.
11 HP.
26 rounds, not enough to decide who walks away with Icebox.
Switching sides. Overtime.
I don't think it's even close to enough. These teams look so neck and neck right now.
Enemy remaining.
That's not what we would have expected at the beginning of today. Leviatán, while they've struggled a little bit so far in this season, some of their games have looked so clean. For example, earlier in the week against MIBR. And against NRG too. 100 Thieves giving us a new look right now.
At just the right time too. Against a formidable foe in Leviatán. Reset OT once again. 100 Thieves on the attack. Oh, there is a glass cannon out for Taco again.
This time he's on that top yellow position. He's thrived from there in the past. kiNgg, for some reason, it's classic out. Just getting that extra speed on the jiggle. Not even attempting to take that fight. The drone's coming in at an opportune time right now. kiNgg might decide to fight with those mollies. Remember that round he had as the anchor.
There it is. That first molly's popped. Dodges a paranoia. Okay, is he going to find another multi-kill here? Second molly backing on up.
Great high tide timing.
Luring 100 Thieves into walking into his lap, and it's another attempt at one. Only one, though.
30 seconds left.
3v2, numbers advantage for the defense. A spike out of reach for now.
Cascade keeping him back to, if no real way to approach until that falls. Oh. Banger's going for the plant. Nobody's challenging him right now, even though Stellar was on the opposite side.
Are they going to get aggressive here? This is a high-low that's so difficult to deal with.
And Stellar's too slow to regroup with Bang there. They wanted to go aggressive, you're right. But for the first time now, Leviatán with the match point and advantage in the second overtime.
What a freaking banger of a map, man.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, I was just a little behind him. Well done by Leviatán to hold that high-low and swing out together.
Those are the types of things that we are seeing over and over from this team. Fundamentally good setups and approaches to everything, where the spacing and trust is so sublime.
Yo, Mimi was right. You guys are quick. I just saw that on Twitter yesterday.
I know, that was
night.
like last night. Where is that coming from?
Oh, who knows, man. Late timeout call. Leviatán on map point. And we'll see what 100 Thieves do to trade back.
Mike has done a formidable job on this map in preparation for Leviatán. So to have his input right now, it's crucial. Whereas a coach with as much of a resume as owner. That experience difference between the two coaches is something to keep an eye out for the rest of the series, and how they've prepped and how they're able to adjust throughout. I would give credit to both sides throughout this game so far.
1000% agree. It may show cracks as the series goes on, but in this first map, you wouldn't think that there's a gap in experience for sure.
I think for me, especially if 100 Thieves lose their grip on this map in particular, it's going to be much, much easier to look at. See how the mentals shift. For right now, though, they have an opportunity to keep this. Icebox going a little longer.
No op on the defense. Cryo once again without one way. And he ripped Leviatán to shreds with earlier. Same angle as well. He's up. Have they solved a way to get around this? Will cause him so many troubles before they do. They succeed.
Remember, 2 early picks. Every time they've gotten these massive advantages early, it's been easy for them to convert. Derrek, though, gonna try to have it. Something to say about that.
Patient too, choosing not to spam out the cove. And that's what allowed him to kill onto Taco. Now we're equalized again. A 3v3. Spike in the hands of Mazino. Derrek sold. Oh, but he's caught with the utility out. And now Stellar in this 1v3. Can Leviatán hold this down? They get the spike planted. The swing out is great. It's gorgeous as Leviatán take map 1.
Again, the coordination there from the 2 Leviatán players there left in the end. Wait till the spike is planted and double swing. And you actually can break down this game to multiple 2v2 situations that go the distance. And how Stellar and Bang slightly miscoordinated on their double swing. Trying to hold in that last round. In this case, Leviatán players just so clean when it comes to those specific little details. What a game. What a start to a series that I think people had little expectations for, but America's constantly swaps what we think about, even in terms of power for these teams.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think this map would be this close at all. I'll be honest with you.
This was a powerhouse for Leviatán, but then again, powerhouse for 100 Thieves. Just, we thought there was a bit of a gap between the two teams.
Maybe not map specific, but in general, you're right. I would agree with that. And 100 Thieves showed that, I mean, they can still hang, man. They can still hang with the best. We'll see the closing moments of this map. Once again, Leviatán take down 100 Thieves in overtime, 15-13. Haven on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
What is this from Shyy? He is currently unstoppable. True. He is just a consistent demon. El Diablo.
Hey guys, it's Shyy. Welcome to my course on optimal Valorant training. I'm going to be demonstrating now some angle clearing. I'll slowly come around the corner as well, making sure no one's on these off angles.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
And Leviatán do it in overtime. What a game. If you have some friends that you want to watch some esports with, show them this game. Show them, or you could show them, you know, lock-in finals. That wouldn't be a bad one either. But this one was certainly an exciting one here in the Americas region as Leviatán as well as 100 Thieves go the distance. But it is Leviatán who walk away with the win. Great adaptations from them. Great way to just pull it out right at the end there. But let's go ahead and talk about this match and break it all down because Mimi, I think out of the gate, we wanted to see 100 Thieves just, you know, give us a little bit more on the attack. They did that. And then on top of which, we wanted to continue to see 100 Thieves dominate on defense. And I think that they also showed that they are a great defensive team. Leviatán just had their number there.
They did. For both Leviatán and 100 Thieves, this is a match about adaptations. Leviatán came in with the game plan of these super strong retakes, but 100 Thieves had some good ideas of their own to be able to adapt.
And here's one of the ones, the takes by Leviatán. You see the deep wall going all the way down in the middle of B there, and they can take the site moving forward, not having to worry about this utility that's being thrown in from 100 Thieves, just continuously moving forward in safety. And how are you not confident when you get these positions?
Yeah, it's a really good setup from them, using both the control utility to high effect and then Reese pinching back down to play together deeper into this post plant and having utility to close this one out. But this was against the anti-eco. And this is where you just kind of see Leviatán game plan playing exactly as you would expect, as they want it to turn out. But 100 Thieves was starting to take things to them. And in particular, we're showing some great usage of the Omen on that defensive side. Their retakes were really nice. They also were really willing to give up this space, fight back in together off of those Omen smokes and paranoias for Cryo. And they also had different varieties where they were anchoring on site, using his utility to hold things down. 100 Thieves, I was really happy about that game for them. But again, it was not enough. Leviatán came up with the ideas in overtime and closed it.
Yeah, that's the difficult part of it, right? You see something from 100 Thieves and you're like, this team. Oh, everyone in the crowd's like, oh, I know, this team. But then, right at the end, Riv, they just fell apart. It felt like Leviatán just was like, oh, this is how we win, and then just went ahead and did it.
It came back to the adaptation, like Mimi said. You actually saw Cryo play underneath that balcony one of the rounds of overtime just before, or even in regulation time, and it's actually where Leviatán went to find, I think it was Cryo the next time on Omen or Bang, whoever was still alive in that situation. So they were reading the way round after round 100 Thieves was going to play that A situation. So it almost felt like an eventually as they kept knocking on the door. They didn't go B in overtime. They went back to that A to punish what they knew on 100 Thieves.
Yeah. They had to crack the egg eventually, and they ended up making an omelet and got themselves a win. Look at that. But you know what? There's some players that we don't really get to talk about all that much. You know, even though we have like a week-long or multi-week-long league, we still miss some of these great players. One of those guys is actually Shyy, because Shyy was fantastic, and there is a lot of respect for this player here, Mimi.
Yeah, this quote is from Asuna at Lock-In, and he was asked, who do you think is the player that impressed you the most from this? And he says, I've been following Shyy's career for a while, looking back at Shyy's matches and stuff. It feels like Leviatán found a gem in him. They seem to be molding him in the right direction. He seems to be really flexible with the roles that he's playing. He's gone from being the Fade Initiator player to being more of a Sentinel player, and Asuna thought he was really good at Champions when they scrimmed against him, and that he's only proven to be better as time has gone on. And that showed in the matchup because Shyy was so incredible playing on the Sentinel role that Asuna was just talking about him switching to ahead of Lock-In. He's a big part of these retakes when Leviatán goes for them, using those mollies to take space or stall out when they're actually trying to hold on to these sites. And in the late round on the attack as well, he was super clutch for this team to close out for some of these critical situations.
I think that's one of the biggest points is you see Shyy alive towards the end of these rounds. A lot of the time it's a win condition for them. He is someone who can play the correct angles, watch that flank, keep his utility alive, which is huge, and then be able to keep the mollies in place.
The end of this game wasn't defined by any of the superstars of this team. It wasn't really kiNgg, it wasn't really Taco. It was Shyy and Mazino for the most part who were winning out those clutches to just barely pull that over the line for Leviatán.
Yeah, it's scary how every player on this team contributes equally here, and it's reflected not only in their standings, but it's also reflected in the scoreboard. It's just incredible, top to bottom. But you know, as we continue to praise Leviatán, they won the game. Congratulations to them. Still, I want to take it back over to 100 Thieves real fast and talk about the defense, but also the aggression. I really liked what we were seeing here, Riv.
We had trap plays, we had shocks to Viper mollies going out towards B, recognizing the state of the game when the they might have wanted to get Harbor Ultimate on the other side, and then the setups towards A as well, being able to stop with the double Sentinel and make sure those setups just shut Leviatán down from gaining space.
They did, and this is what we were talking about in the pre-show. A team like Leviatán is super prep heavy. If you let them play to their initial idea, they will bowl you over.
Yeah.
And 100 Thieves did a really good job at the preparation, realizing that out of a lot of these timeouts, they're going to go for these B hits and having things prepped, like that shock molly that you were talking about. On the attacking side, it was the post-plan aggression, and on the defense, it was being proactive in the early round to shut down that idea, and also in those retakes, fighting through, not allowing Leviatán to be comfortable, which I was really worried about 100 Thieves being able to do against a squad that thus far has looked so much stronger than them throughout the season.
We also had a little bit of Cryo being more aggressive on Omen than he is on the Jets. Okay, Cryo, like running out of those Viper's pits, finding kills. It felt like an invigorated Cryo.
That Omen Flash and TP, don't sleep on it, baby. It's good. It's good stuff. Give yourself a few smokes, play around them. It ain't half bad. But look, guys, before we get into map 2, let's take a pit stop, as a matter of fact, and go to an aim lab shoot around. Because we got Asuna on deck here. Okay. He's going to shoot some orbs and stuff. But, you know, I think, oh, what's that background?
That was in the compound.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know you could do that. So, I'm so basic with aim lab. I literally just.
Oh, look at the hoodies.
Oh man, can you shoot the hoodies? I don't know. Like,
No,
that should also. No.
That's sacrilege.
Wait, why?
Not a bad way.
Why is Nate shot in the aim lab? What's he shooting?
Wait, what? I'm just genuinely lost here, but I do appreciate that he's going ADS.
Look at that orbage.
The community-created stuff in Aim Lab is crazy. You can.
It is pretty wild
scenarios out there, but also some really cool ones. Asuna was really stellar for this team in the first map. It wasn't on that proactive duelist role that we were talking about a lot in the pre-show, but it doesn't matter. Even when he's on the stage, this guy's always going to be providing a lot of value for this team. And for both him and Cryo, I think on that map we saw the confidence that we've been waiting to come out for this squad, like you were talking about with some of those Omen plays.
Do we get him on the Gecko now? We'll see.
That's a question.
That could be fun. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about that. You know, and keep in mind though that for both of these teams, I don't want to say that the stake. Obviously, every game the stakes are always going to be high here because you only have a few,
even more
9 games in the season, right? And especially here in Super Week. But it's interesting. I feel like both of these teams could sacrifice a loss here and still be relatively okay. Not something you want to say, but that being said, you could tell that neither one of these teams, Mimi, they don't want to drop that L. They want to take this up because how big of a win would this be for 100 Thieves to be able to pull this off?
It'd be huge. They're 2-2 right now. Continuing the momentum and trying to actually win out a series here is what we want to see from 100 Thieves. For Leviatán, though, they're second place in the league right now, 3-1. This is about staying on top for them. And you can see that in their gameplay. The structure was there. Owner super proactive with those pauses. Think of that eco round they lost. It almost lost them the game because it was 13-11 at the end. They instantly call the timeout. They instantly save. You can see whenever mistakes are being made, this team hates it, and they are quickly making adaptations.
Yeah, that point, it seems funny. It's like almost to the point where, okay, one of you is getting out, and Owner's now going to sit in that chair. Like, it's that quick that they called the timeout war. So to see those little micromanagements, we saw actually MCE do it to Cloud9 the first time we saw on stage.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, we heard, I actually spoke to a few of the coaches after that, and they said it's nicer to get timeouts in early, to know you took them, instead of thinking about wanting to take it later, and you didn't.
Yeah. Now, by the way, I want to let everyone know at home that, and for those of you guys in the arena here at the Riot Games Arena, just want to let you know that we had like an audio issue on the stage for one of the players. Getting it resolved, and then we'll be into the action in a little bit. But I did have a question to pose to the panel here, something I was curious about, because, you know, at the end of Icebox, right, I think we were all pretty big on 100 Thieves. We were like, man, this is actually going really well. The game plan's working. Leviatán are making this difficult. 100 Thieves could pull it off. But then it didn't happen. And then Leviatán walk away with the win. What do you think, Mimi, in your, you know, observing these teams, what do you feel like was the kind of the tipping point there that gave Leviatán the win over 100 Thieves? What was the, I guess, the secret sauce they busted out in OT?
I think at the end of the game, the last few rounds, it was from both teams, the willingness to at times try things new. That's what we saw from some of the success points of 100 Thieves, leaning into anchoring the sites instead of playing full retake. But what Leviatán did, honestly, I feel like was just fix some of the issues in rounds they were already doing. They kept in OT going for a lot of those A hits that previously they'd been losing. A lot of scrappy rounds that they shouldn't have. There was 2 times where 100 Thieves stuck a spike defuse, where little mistakes were being made, where there was sloppiness that we don't normally expect from Leviatán. And in OT, they really cleaned that up. When they got those post blends, the util timings were on point. They weren't leaving those gaps for 100 Thieves to get back in. And on top of that, players like Mazino and Shyy were having huge impact in the last few rounds.
Yeah, let's be honest. If there wasn't a kiNgg clutch, there wouldn't have been an overtime.
That's true.
So 100 Thieves, you know, they kind of botched an end round there where it was diffused,
3v1?
but multiple defenders on a solo person fighting. So we had a lot of those shoot through smoke ending rounds.
And
I
you
think
said that when we were watching the game. You're like, I don't think this is sustainable to just keep relying on shooting through smoke.
And that's why Leviatán stepped up into the site, I think, over time in that and kept pushing through past Maze, past 410, and was underneath to find Bang, find Stellar when they were hiding in, so they couldn't approach the site.
There's actually an interesting comparison there between the two compositions, because this was an issue I think 100 Thieves struggled with in a lot of the early parts of that first half.
Yeah.
Where with this Omen comp, it felt like they were actually leaving Cryo out to dry a lot, particularly on their A hits, where they would leave him on the site to try and fight, and he'd maybe get one, then die. But everyone else would be playing far back, leaning into the util, which was an issue that we used to see a lot more for this team. But as they got deeper into that, they realized they needed to fight forward, be proactive with Cryo to get that opening kill, because that was the issue again with MIBR. You cannot let Leviatán play their game and retake into you, or you will most likely lose out on that round.
Yeah, you just can't let your boy be out on an island by himself. Give him some support, help him out, maybe a paddle or two and some water. But that being said, though, that wraps up map 1. Icebox goes the way of Leviatán. Excuse me, the Heineken 0.0 Icebox.
That's true.
I'm going to enjoy saying that for as long as I can. And then we move on to map 2. It's going to be Haven here. And Riv, you said, you were like, you know, I want to see something creative. I might want to see a little bro, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Asuna brings out the little bro, but they have to. Leviatán is so strong on this pick. That's why they're going towards it. They run this map like it's a home ground for them.
They really do. Leviatán, this has consistently been probably their de facto map. You think back to so many of the big Leviatán wins throughout the history of this team, and it's almost always been on Haven. And unlike 100 Thieves, they don't run a gimmick comp like the Gecko. They run pretty much a bog standard, a fade, raise, breach composition, which tons of teams run, but they're really good at it. Again, we've talked a lot about this, but similar to Icebox, they're going to lean into these retakes a lot of the time, and the coordination on those set plays, the attacking side as well, they have a lot of those really good ideas. But also this map is where we've seen some of their strongest moments in the adaptation. Think back to Copenhagen or Champions, where someone's teleporting onto a box and see heaven at the last second. This is still that team that can pull out some of that craziness, and Haven is one of those maps where they can lean into that.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want this to go to 3, especially, 100% if you are a 100 Thieves fan. You want this to go to 3 right now, given the circumstances. But here we go. Agent select now as we see what we're going to get. And already out of the gate, little bros here in LA, people.
Fans are happy about that one.
They popped off.
A lot of clears per plant. We'll keep an eye on those plants, too.
Cheap pop.
Yeah, they do. The game plan around this composition is cool. We also see on the side of Leviatán, looks like they're shifting over to that jet instead of the raise. Not a hugely surprising shift, but to talk about this Gecko for a second.
Do you think it's
on
gimmicky?
The attacking side, it's definitely gimmicky. Gecko is kind of gimmicky, but what they do well with it is a lot of the time they'll lean into these B hits with that Gecko, putting him into plant while they're fighting a link. It just adds kind of an extra pair of hands that allows you to fight forward in your post plant on the attacking side and be more proactive, which I think is going to be really good against Leviatán.
Yeah, but I also don't want them to just rely on that, because I feel like we've seen way too many times it's like, what does Wingman do? Oh, I think he just plants a spike. No, he actually does some other things as well.
But here's the thing, if you're being proactive and you're fighting forward, instead of letting him be the first line, that issue doesn't crop up.
True.
You're actually the wingman to wingman.
That's
yeah.
Look at that.
You need to go
to the club.
Another strength of this one is that Molly will still do a ton of damage to those Killjoy lockdowns. If you can combine that with a shock, there's a lot of opportunities to break that one down and stop retakes. So talk about Leviatán for a bit, though. They have pivoted over to Taco on this jet. It's still a bog standard composition besides that one, but I'm looking towards Taco getting this op online on the defense, and how 100 Thieves shuts this down, because you don't have a breach or a Sky or a KO. Normally you have those tools to get an opera off the line, but here you only have Gecko's little guy, which can make it harder.
All right, well, this is it. Let's find out if this one can go to map 3. And now it's time to send it to your casters. 2 guys who contacted Human Resources and told them they did not want to be my emergency contact. This is Doug and Balla.
Thank you so much, GB. This is just becoming like a full-on story, and I don't really know what side of the story we're on anymore. Haven in the books, Asuna and Gecko, everyone loves it. But I think Leviatan's comp, Mimi was talking about it a little bit, they have so many more tools to set up their side.
Yeah, I mean, they've got that breach. They've got Tacolilla on the jet as well, which is a very exciting prospect on this map in particular. It's been some Jets playground. Taco hasn't really taken over any specific game here so far in LA. And I'm looking for him to do it at some point. But also, this is such a strong point here for Leviatán. This is their map pick. And they've also bought themselves a little bit of a buffer, too, by winning that first map, which was 100 Thieves' pick. But I am concerned for 100 Thieves because Leviatán, this map, like Mimi was saying, like she was alluding to, is Leviatán's playground. They've been so good. This is one of their maps that they had that strong one last year at Champions.
I look at Cryo's health already, man. 28 HP because of that
Follow up with the aftershock.
They just want to fight. It feels like it's right where we left off. Mazino's goof, man, he can't see a thing. They get the kill anyway. Nice trade out from Taco.
The flank!
Dude, they are so pacey on this. They're so quick on it.
That is a ridiculously fast round from Leviatán. It was 4 players pushing A, and the last player is Shyy. Approaching out Garage, he gets that quick flank. And secures it eventually. The staying power in that hit too. Love the idea. As soon as there's some utility there from 100 Thieves, you get the trap sprung down short. But on top of that, you have Tacolilla dashing up long. Nice pistol round conversion. Again, the focus from this team, from Owner, on these little rounds like the pistol, the ecos, the bonuses, make them such a threat at all stages of the game. And you've already seen them have a pretty considerate, close game where they're very happy to play in those situations.
That shot killed a little something.
Oh!
Somebody
Look, bro, planning.
Still up, yeah.
Placing alarm bomb. Placing swarm grenade.
Now, what do they do from here? Cryo's gotten a weapon. He just handed it over to Asuna, so he still has a Spectre to work with. They're just waiting, so patient, letting the smoke subside before they swing. And there it is, timing gorgeous from Leviatán once again.
One enemy remaining.
And it's not going to be flawless, but it's going to be pretty freaking close.
Surprised to get the retake back on that one. That was a little difficult given Cryo got Mazino down, and thankfully kiNgg got all his util back up in time. They just farm that, and that again is one of the key factors of Leviatán. They are so well considered when it comes to retakes. I've said it over and over and over and over, but I want to hammer that point.
One enemy remaining.
Because if 100 Thieves can't do what they did on Icebox, which is start to find ways to interrupt those protocols, things can get very hairy. It's interesting because Leviatán actually on this map, especially at lock-in, this is one of the maps where they were considerably scrappy on.
There they are.
And it took heroics of kiNgg to actually get back out of this, but we'll see if they need that today.
Other than clearing out some utility, yeah. 100 Thieves had to make a sound up until then. Look at Taco going over the top. And it gives 1 for 1. Derrek now starting to funnel out onto the side alongside the rest of 100 Thieves, and this tit for tat continues.
Last player standing.
Finally, a gap in the numbers. And Mazino's left alone. He's gonna get peppered through the wall. And his frenzy from a distance shouldn't be able to do very much at all.
These teams are so even. Just gonna go for some extra damage on this bonus.
Turret's problem number 1. Now they know Mazino has the Guardian. Spam timing on the smoke. It's pretty as 100 Thieves get on the board.
Fast hit towards A, and immediately, look at Stellar pinging already on the map. Getting ready for the next approach. One thing that 100 Thieves have done really well with this Haven comp is Asuna has found ways to execute with the wingman. So often we've seen teams run into the pitfall of sending the plant down C long. We might see that here, and them not really dealing with anything, but Asuna's got Thrash at this point, so we might see a double hit with that. See how considered it is.
Yeah, monster on the loose. There's Thrash, as you were just mentioning. Cryo taking the space with him, understanding that the site is empty. Farm Thrash and get to go again.
And this is a situation where Wingman will not plant because Derrek is close to the ult. Actually, he's going to go for it anyways. He's got tagged by that. Asuna might go down. He does.
Stellar expecting the flank. Taco across the dash, and it doesn't matter.
That's another ping too, though.
kiNgg has a little bit of utility. You see Stellar who's going to be flanking around, but it may be too late.
He's got an edge here. He's
going to be over before he gets there. Mazino's going to hold it the whole way.
How does that happen? 100 Thieves just got hit by their own tactic. Just stick the defuse.
You have to think.
A slight misplant there. You want to be flush with that wall so nobody can get around that platform while you're defusing. That one's gonna hurt because all of a sudden, yeah, they're still able to buy through. But you've got a strong Leviatán responding right now. There's no streak available after losing that pistol.
kiNgg's fall line early. See a little bit of mind games being played out from Bang. Threatening that he had taken the teleport into Cubby on A long. And we'll see what that draws up from utility. Yeah, you see the drone from NCR being used to clear short.
Shyy's gonna rock a monster. Peeking with his turret there, but the double flash, or the flash paired with Wingman, forces him off.
Paranoid to help things out a little bit further. Logs cleared, but so is Cryo.
What?
That was filthy from Shyy as he gets another. They're still on the site. Mazino's behind them, and they don't know.
Player standing.
Well done by Derrek, but once again, Leviatán up in numbers. 100 Thieves left scratching how they gotten into this position, how the heck they get themselves out of it too.
Stellar tried to make a play into back sight there while Derrek had to deal with Mazino there. I'm surprised he didn't back off and fight with Derrek instead. So he took a separate 1v1 and now left up to NA's clutch minister.
Planted. My ult is ready.
He hasn't had one in a while. He's teed up for one now. He's only able to get one though.
And Leviatán have canceled any momentum that 100 Thieves might have started to get. But two approaches on C. One met with no resistance, but this one, Shyy is there. I like to take through garage, but consistently since that NRG game, this Shyy guy has impressed me. So considered, and his decision-making has been incredible. Was one of the key factors in making Leviatán an actual contender to make it towards global events for LATAM.
Here.
Soon as he was introduced to the roster,
Scanning ahead.
they've made it to every single one.
Nowhere to run!
Early flash this time, and two ults now used. The first one to get info, the second to try to get a kill.
Nothing found though, and they've got massive retake ults, so see 100 Thieves considers the lockdown that might be put down by Shyy, but also the breach ult. It's in such a good spot. It's really nice to be it. Not be able to be broken, but it also gives up space here for them to play in long.
You wonder if off of the Rolling Thunder, they take the space that you were just alluding to.
Oh, good movement here from Taco. Stella's not going to be a factor.
Another 5v5. Mazino up top. Cryo and Asuna down low. Four members of 100 Thieves trying to play down long, and Stellar the only exception in
They
short.
just smoked themselves off? I think they just smoked themselves off.
Derrek with the first op. Shot goes wide. As it's all spammed through. Another clash. Another bash and another flawless round. Stellar was there the entire time, alone. Remember, he dodged that opening op shot.
I thought Taco had him for sure. Taco put himself in such a good position, and Stellar's the guy who ends up coming through with it. That is Bit of a blunder there from Leviatán. In my opinion, they should have been very favored, especially after that smoke went up from Bang. I think it's a good idea to threaten the pop out and go for the spam, but it is a risk. That is a risky idea.
Thieves fans rolling deep today. And after letting that first map slip away, they find themselves deadlocked again here. A clean round out from them, but yeah, one that probably, all things considered, should have gone Leviatán's way, but they scrapped their way through it.
And there was a lot of ults invested in that. Yep. Mazino used his TP as well on top of the lockdown, on top of the breach ult. And they've actually broken the economy, so that little response from Leviatán was short-lived. Looking where Taco wants to use his knives, if there's any idea of an early updraft. Doesn't look like it, but it looked like they might go for that four-person push that they did on pistol. You can really carpet bomb A lobby with the fault line and this paranoia, but 100 Thieves is already considering. Look how far back Derrek is actually droning this from. They might not actually find anything.
They saw nothing.
That might be a trap. Oh, more.
And I wonder if it was because of how far back he had to use it. You see kiNgg is procced. He's got that fault line ready.
No info from that flash.
And look at how patient Leviatán are. They haven't moved an inch in the face of the drone, in the face of the goop. Dizzy, I forgot his name for a moment.
How could you? Good pivot. They felt something was up. Usually there's a response with that amount of util used out of one side, and knives out. Knives gone.
Clean out from Derrek. Uh-oh.
They're pulling back here. They're pulling back here.
There's a lot on the other side. Just a classic.
They might think it's still only one, though. kiNgg is the only guy taking contact.
You're right, that's all they've seen.
This flank could come fast, and there's a gun that they did not pick up.
Oh, Shyy. Shy's gonna get so much info, and that forces them out! Shyy makes the call, Mazino swings out and gets two.
And look at the foot race from Nosworth, trying to get his way all the way back up. Stellar has to ult to hold this space for the wingman to plant, and it will get put down.
Another scrappy round as Mazino gets put down.
They're in the lockdown right now.
Stellar's just holding it.
Shyy picked up the Vandal. He's going for the fast flank. It's not planted for spawn here.
Asuna and Stellar both weak. Stellar with a little bit of utility.
They're going to hear him at this point.
He doesn't have time to be quiet about it. Asuna cleans him up, gets the thrash online as well.
Bold of Asuna to be peeking logs by himself there, but makes it work.
10 seconds left.
Dude, Stellar again.
One enemy remaining.
He found the lurk and understood what was going on, despite not even being involved in that A lobby fight. So he just walked up C. And one of the things, too, is Leviatán, the last time they played Haven was at Lock-in, so yes, there's a little bit of tape, but it was a different comp. Part of the reason why Leviatán might have switched here, given how heavy 100 Thieves was on that first map of Icebox.
Thrash getting a little bit of space, but cleared out almost instantly. They should be able to pick him up again and go again, though.
Back up.
Wingman on the plant. The fault line there, and it should be clear. Taco's going! Oh, Austin is wise to it, though. Well done!
Taco's been spammed in his smoke. It feels like every time he goes for a smoke dash. It looks like a save. They're calling it.
Wow. I think the only real question is how far are 100 Thieves going to want to hunt?
I think that dart actually gives them info. That came from a long way away, and you could hear it traveling for quite some time. So another in the books for 100 Thieves, but still threats by Leviatán. It is very interesting to see Leviatán consistently go for this approach on many maps of being comfortable retaking, given how difficult of an idea that is. The average retake rate for most teams is close to 20%. Leviatán, yes, they have a little better than that, but
Wise words from
thanks,
the crowd.
Thanks for the reminder.
But to go back to the point you were making, yeah, executing retakes consistently in the face of all of the chaos and synergizing of utility is much easier said than done. So for them to continue to lean into it, second timeout used by Leviatán, by the way, and we're still in the first half.
This is the second.
Yep.
Oh boy. Owner. This is round 9 now going into it, and he's not going to get a chance to talk to them at all for the rest of the game, and this is close still. This is still very early. And I do like what the Desk was talking about trying to use these timeouts early so you don't regret not using them later on. But this one, you have no clue. I mean, it's a whole new game in the second half.
Right.
That tells you how much the alarm bells are going off for Owner. And the crazy part too is they just saved. They just had 40 seconds to talk to themselves.
It's a long conversation, but he clearly trusts his team and trusts that they'll go the rest of the way without him.
That's a good point.
Light armor on 3 for Leviatán. Blades for Cryo. I can't imagine he'll use it here as Bang's spotted. The spam is there. He took some damage.
It's paired up with Noswer's dart there to try to get a kill. But the key part is he actually didn't use his dash. A lot of people will double satchel up there or go for a dash to try to get there in time. But he opts not to do that, so has a tool for later on in the round.
They've taken some garage control, now throwing the brakes on the round. After bullying Shyy off, you've got kiNgg close by. His fault line isn't up yet, though. Chooses to use a flash.
They just flash Shyy in, but Bang wants to flash himself, so curious.
He still gets one? And they're expecting kiNgg. All the timing! No way!
One enemy remaining.
What in the world is that? That's a Spectre. Is that what they talked about? I mean, what is that?
I guess. Guys, just keep moving when you shoot. That was the plan in the timeout.
Holy moly. You hate to see it, but love to see it at the same time. Look at this.
Right.
You saw the dink and you definitely go for it. You're just like, yeah, whatever. Call him John McClane.
The timeouts have come in bunches early in this map, as now 100 Thieves choose to use their first.
Bring it back, bro.
You think so?
No. No, don't. You're right. These timeouts, I mean, this feels like 3 very quick ones in succession. Leviatán obviously with both used already, but even despite that, 100 Thieves giving them another opportunity to talk here on this first half, and you have to wonder if Owner's hoping that Mike is going to call a timeout in the second half for him. Is that something that you could do as an experienced coach of Owner? You have all the tools, you've been in this situation over and over, you're really comfortable getting your point across in a short period of time, and Mike not even end up realizing what he ends up giving to Leviatán as a boon in the next half. Either way, this one clearly he's had enough time to talk, so what more can Owner even say at this point?
Get out of my way!
I don't know, the man seems verbose. That's a deep dart.
Cryo tried to updraft and take him out early.
Taco got aggressive.
Oh, that is... Wow! He's pushing through a smoke!
Deploying drone.
Derrek at this point has gotten 3 first kills on this map and 3 on the last. As an initiator player, that is not the stat line you're thinking you'll see.
No, not at all. And you'd expect him to be setting up Cryo, for example, or something along those lines. But for him to be the one finding success there is...
Especially in a ridiculous situation like that. Look at this flank, though. Derrek is trying to consider. He is jiggling against Mazino. That might not get off. No,
so close. And Derrek's pulled off. Mazino's on the flank. Mazino's timing could be everything. He just spotted Derrek. But Derrek's still wise to it.
Oh, Mazino not even still considering to go for this in this 3v5. It might be another
save.
And then there's 5 players up. They've lost the push on Taco immediately, and then Shyy as well, who's the anchor on that site. Even though he denied the plant, he fell flat. Leviatán is a team, probably the team that saves the most in the Americas League. So this is not a surprise at all. We didn't really get to see it much against MIBR, but
yeah, I guess they didn't really have to, did they?
This was over and over happening in that game against NRG. Five to 5, score still even. Again, it's been clear since the beginning of Icebox that these two teams are neck and neck, at least in terms of the performance today. Taco has been constantly up A long, and now losing that fight, I think that's the cue to switch him over towards C. But I am concerned that 100 Thieves is going to make the read about that.
Not only is he C long, but he's got an op, no armor too. I don't know that he's going to get challenged. You've got Stellar, who's controlling the flank with the rest of 100 Thieves leaning A. They just spotted one here. So you have an idea it's Gecko who's around. But NCR holding that line. Trying to smoke up from Mazino. They don't really have any space anywhere else on the map.
And the first engagement is going to be in the execute. It looks like 50 seconds. Stellar always has the room to pivot here.
Shy's going to be waiting for it. We're going to have a fight on 2 fronts. While the majority of the players on the server clash on A, it's going to be a fight for a flank across the elsewhere on the map. The Cryo with 2 massive kills.
But they're not checking off. What? Yes, they are.
Cryo gets 4. And another save for Leviatán. Cryo was such a part of discussion in these opening weeks to the stage, and you know, how successful has he been or not been? What kind of a Jet is he? Is he the kind of player that can take over games like we've known other Jets to do? Dude, he's performed so well this series. And he's gone hunting. Not able to get the ace.
Just gotta save this up.
Yeah.
2 players can still buy, but does he consider the push down C too?
Oh, I don't
he
think
does.
It's gonna matter, yeah.
Well done. Very well done. It's necessary for him to keep that on, but this was such a massive round from Cryo. I was about to speak about the situation for the Leviatán. They've been losing these first fights over and over and over. Up to that point, they hadn't won. Other than Shyy, who had 3 first kills, that was the only first kills for Leviatán.
Turret out.
Their Sentinel player having success on those defensive first kills, but now we're gonna look. Taco again going down sewers, and 100 Thieves is reading it again. Not approaching and instantly taking down that molly that we saw earlier was the end of the wingman plant.
The alarm bot's still there though. The drone and kiNgg's going aggressive. Look, he's already facing up on the other side of the smoke. They're just gonna fight. They want to take the fight. Forget about a retake. They're flooding it now.
Stunned in the corner.
He's so dead. He had no chance.
And look at the flank from Taco too. He's gonna be the ender.
1 enemy remaining.
Derrek's already gotten dropped. Taco's on the flank, as you mentioned.
What a random comeback round there for Leviatán. It looked like they had no energy, but kiNgg with the Guardian in that. It's flawless. And I was just about to mention how they did not really get many ults online at all since that one where they tried to retake fast. But there you got it. 2 kills from kiNgg and instantly breach ults. Other than that, though, they might have only had one for most of their players in that half.
Just such a different flavor, such a different approach to how they closed out that round. Unreal. 6-6 half. GB, what do you think? We going to map 3?
Look, man, I want it. I want a map 3. I'll take it.
3.
I'm okay with it. You know, baby, I get paid either way. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that being said, though, speaking of getting paid, all these players are earning their paychecks on that stage today because they're putting on one hell of a show. Riv, let's just jump right into it and talk about, you know, really just the beginning of the game, because I think you can take every round and just break it down.
Absolutely. We break this one down and we see that Lev loves to push where they go. When this round starts off and they get the push out mid, you have the 4 coming up A, and Leviatán did this multiple times to section off the map and start getting a better read on 100 Thieves.
You've seen this across multiple maps now. Paula was talking about it, where Leviatán's read on the game is so heavy into these retakes. They love fighting heavy for extremity control in one place, taking that space and intentionally giving up other sites to play that retake. And initially, it looked like that game plan was going to work like it did on Icebox. But as that half went on, we started to see them really struggle to make those retakes happen. And I think a big part of that was these first kills and first deaths.
Yeah.
Taco in particular was so slow to get anything going. On 100 Thieves' attacking side, they did a good job of not allowing him much room whatsoever. And without those opening kills, with Leviatán being a team that's so willing to save, they lose that early advantage. They're just going to give it to you.
Yeah, Taco, it just struggle city for him. And a player that whenever you see him in the server, you know he's going to deliver. But this time around, it's been a little rough. And it was funny because we were joking about it. We were like, oh, you know, Cryo and Taco both struggling. And then Cryo nearly gets the ace. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's what Cryo does. So you're really hoping for that moment from Taco, aren't you, Riv?
Absolutely. I mean, Taco's here. We had tacos last night. Lots of tacos coming in. But it is one that needs to step up. He is one of him and Aspas are the only Jet player on Jet only in America. So he knows his role. The team knows the role around it. And the Jet needs to be going, and the Jet needs to be getting some frags, maybe.
As we look towards the second half now, it's 6-6, and I'm looking at Asuna on this Gecko. They had a lot of good ideas on this attacking side, but it's a lot harder to recoup your Dizzy, keep that utility in your hands on this defensive side. We'll have to see if they can match that success.
Yeah, we'll see if Lil Bro can be a factor here, but let's send it back over to Doug and Ball.
Knotted up at halftime, 6-6. Potential of Lotus on the cards, but we'll see if we're able to get that far, if 100 Thieves are able to close it out. The defensive side now up for grabs, and Mimi was talking about it. It's a little bit more difficult to find repeated value out of your utility if you're Gecko. In this situation, we'll see if Asuna can pull it off.
It is a weird pick, and we'll see if Leviatán is prepared to handle. They're going fast up towards B. Bang is up, TP'd, and so is Cryo. He's here.
Bang got messed up. Bang is patient. Cryo falling first, but kills going back and forth.
Taco in the back of sight did get the sheriff, but he's spammable back there. Mollyable, anything. They don't have anything.
2 members that are weak, now 3 members that are weak on the attacking side, but they don't seem to care.
Like that little bounce there from the Dizzy of Asuna. Comes back when you expect it not to, but 1v4, this is tough position, and he can't even pick up his buddies.
And again, Leviatán so weak here. I mean, you take a look at the health bars, you know there's not much to go around.
Yeah, you just don't peek here as Leviatán.
Yeah. As Shyy peeks around from the backside and gets a kill.
At least he has the flank. Possibility. And that's another pistol for Leviatán. I was speaking about how 100 Thieves were buffered by the pistols in that first game a little bit. Here, Leviatán was that case. Because of how many rounds they had to save, but winning 2 is definitely going to keep them in this. On the attack side, too.
Keep up.
They have the tools to set up Taco, to make him and put him in positions to really pop off.
Yeah, but I think eyes go towards Shyy here. He had so much success in that pistol that he's got a Phantom in light armor. So I think, yeah, there's a lot of discussion around how do you set up Taco for success, but you've got the guns, you've got the big stuff in the hands of Shyy.
And the isolated fight, by the way, from Mazino is by himself over at C long. He's only got a ghost, so even if he goes down to aggro, totally fine with that. They're not going to really give up any significant advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Asuna spotted him, but so did Taco.
A couple of warning shots dropped. But that's all.
Cryo activated his dash because of that engagement. And Asuna rotated all the way over. He's down sewers into Shyy. He got him!
That's
what?
the Phantom! Now Cryo is a Phantom! He's swinging around and he finds success with it!
Talk about advantage given up. 40 seconds though. They're going to push through spawn with a molly. Forces him out. Doesn't realize the heaven player in the round is completely slipped out of control.
What a conversion.
That is incredibly uncharacteristic for Leviatán. That's 2 now in this series though. But the way that fell apart and how everybody started making solo plays is not what you expect from this team. And in the last round when they got thrifted in the last map, Owner instantly called the timeout. He does not have that option right now.
It's a very good point. Yeah, reminder that they don't have that at their disposal. They still have enough to get some by them. Mazino has a Vandal this time. Taco with the Stinger.
Look at the fast flank though. Shyy does have a turret, but can they get back fast enough to even deal with this right now?
And how much info is that turret really gathering too? I mean, I guess perhaps by process of elimination, you understand that there is likely more than one. There's a drone you've heard off the turret being cleared. NZR the first to fall. Mazino, who has a gun, which is really nowhere to be seen. He's trying to hold down the site. It's just these two that remain. There's the Stinger getting the first, and they cannot get much more.
Clean anti-eco. Stellar was aggressive on that fist bump there. And I think they did a great job cleaning up the players who ended up getting off of site there. After the turret contact, they split and went 2 through window, 2 through grass. Momentum well within the 100 Thieves camp.
Placing sentry.
And actually, 100 Thieves in back-to-back Latam opponents. Against Crew, they got stomped on that first map and ended up coming back to win the series. Here they're down a map and looking to start that reverse sweep in the best of 3. Nice bounce again from Asuna, recovering.
Cheeky.
Like a boomerang.
Now with the op in the hands of Cryo too. It doesn't look like he's going to get much of an early challenge, but with how well he's played this series, you just kind of got to keep that in the back of your mind.
That could have denied the drone. Almost found the timing for it. It instantly canceled too. Asuna's crouched down in a really cheeky angle, but you see on the mini-map right now, they're heading into Cryo's op. Oh. Traded though, instant.
Nice trade up by Taco.
Taco's low, he's gonna dash still, what?
Of course he is. Doesn't take the route all the way backside. Stellar waiting for it, off of the flash. Stellar gets him. Dude, Stellar is on one.
Rough first game for Stellar, but this one, 14-7. He had the reads too, the calls have been fantastic. I don't even know how he gets Shyy there.
Yeah, I don't either.
And Haven feels different. Remember on Icebox I was saying, they might be buffered by these pistols, because Leviatan's winning a lot of those guns, the gun rounds, but here, 100 Thieves have shifted that balance. And they forced Leviatán to go down to a save again. Knives out from Taco though, very dangerous round.
Riv was mentioning on the desk, eyes turned towards him. Can he find success? He is very aggressively going.
Oh! Early lockdown though, so they won't be able to get the plant, or do they stick for it? They're gonna have to fall way out. That's a great lockdown, so no way you can commit to that.
That would have spelled disaster.
They could come back into it. they don't have information about the rest of the map, so I think they're kind of pushed into this decision.
Yeah.
But do they expect the
Caution
push from
here.
Cryo? Look at the alarm bot that got put down. I don't think you're going to expect people to have flooded out of heaven. So Cryo has the opportunity to close out this round. And he hears it, so he calls his teammates over.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on here. Oh, I thought kiNgg was going to jump on
They
it.
get the plant.
Planted.
Cryo's still able to get one. Vandal's still in the hands of Mazino.
Cover going out.
Smokes down Cryo's blades. Done playing patient. Wants to go fast off the paranoia. He gets one on Mazino. The flick on the NCR.
Just disgusting. Heavy criticism on Cryo. But he finally gets his flowers. Here on stage, he finally gets his flowers. What a round by the guy.
Yeah, that flick on NCR was cold.
That's what they brought him in for.
He still has that off, too. He's had it for, what, 3 rounds now?
He's gotten a pick with it every single one. Compare that to Taco's success on the defense. Much different, and Taco's not clearing his corners.
No, we're just forcing
so far an
at this
attack.
point.
And I like the idea to go for this pinch, but they even got a sharp detain. Under Thieves, everything working. Leviatán, things falling apart, but that's a nice double face.
She's going to need to do that 4 more times to secure the round.
Oh my goodness, Derrek, what a shock.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good. 74 HP, a thrash back up online. You've got the wingman swinging out as well. Cryo gets another with the up, continuing the consistency of success.
This defensive half is so strong from 100 Thieves. Everything that they go for in there. I mean, they threw the shark down from B, caught Shyy, or whoever it was from Leviatán outside of garage.
Like, why can't we just hug it out?
Might have been the drone actually from Nalsworth. And now they're up big. Biggest lead for 100 Thieves in this series. And you can see why. It's over and over. Much more comfortable than Leviatán was on that first half, even though it was even at the end of it. There's been no struggles here.
Oh, it's another hobbled, broken by from Leviatán as well. So 12 likely on the cards. But they do have some tools. They have the lockdown and the Hunter's Fury.
Going back to this B hit. They have, yes, been able to get the plant in most cases, but this time there's actually a setup here for 100 Thieves, and oh, it's falling.
But Asuna on the response. The second not able to convert.
What?
And can't either. They tried funneling. They tried flooding.
Spike planted.
How are they failing on these hits that are light buys over and over? That's now 2 light buys in a row where all of a sudden there's been a threat. This round almost wrapped up for them. Cryo doesn't have his knives, he doesn't have position, and they're not able to recoup with ults like they did in that last one.
And he's been good, but this is a big ask. I respect it. We hadn't had a shorty kill. We were due for one.
It's crazy because Leviatán winning, getting such good kills early on these ecos, on these light buys, on these stinger rounds. But when it comes to the gun rounds, Cryo's working on them. And the hits that 100 Thieves are doing, the protocols are springing in such a way that there's no advantage gained from Leviatán.
Turret out.
And that timeout is hurting right now. The fact that it's missing, owner wants to be able to talk. After a streak like that, you know he has input. 4 players for 100 Thieves on this A site. We're gonna see a big brawl early. kiNgg has ult. This could easily go sideways for 100 Thieves.
Someone's there.
Oh, that's a good mosh.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good. If you're talking, they're gonna have to get out.
Oh!
The counter ult to create some space, but Asuna falls. Traded right back. Cryo still with the up.
Oh my goodness.
On the right, he's not gonna see him.
But Shyy won't either. And he's got actually Derrek. Oh!
Patience. Oh gosh, he almost botched it.
He should have gotten 2 there if he was a little bit more patient. So trigger discipline, well, you might have seen it at the beginning, not all the way. What's the call though here? 100 Thieves, they've lost control, lost information on the rest of the map. Leviatán.
Here.
they don't have it either. So again, they're forcing their way in. They're really not working the map. Might cost them. Derrek, bang, still here.
Dart up for Derrek. Bang with no smoke yet.
Revealing area. Caution here.
Yeah, they know. You just got to be so much more careful when your controller's
Double
on.
shocks here for Derrek, and that's going to do tons of damage.
That's the first. The second. Oh, he gets it!
He's
30
gone.
seconds left.
They can't even cross back to the spike, Doug.
Because they have nothing to cover them. They're nothing to conceal their presence. 100 Thieves, map point.
Match point.
You think back to Shyy there, down short, had the opportunity to take out Cryo, take out Derrek, only took down one. And if Derrek was dead, they did not have this idea. He's been a monster
Yes, he has.
in this series, so consistently finding the impact kills. And this is it. 100 Thieves with a chance to put away the map. Take us to Lotus. Leviatán going fast.
With no real choice to slow down otherwise. Cryo spotting some.
You should run.
And they're going.
Oh, wow.
kiNgg has gotten up into cubby.
Lockdown in garage. They're going to try to break it.
Spamming through. And yeah, comes at the cost of Stellar's life, but now a 2v2.
He missed the dash.
Bang waiting, that's a spike too. He can just push the Hunter's Fury.
Canceled. Wait, no, it didn't. Oh!
Bang pushes it, Bang gets the kill. It's just Shyy now.
Gives up the spike, though.
He's gotten around him. They're winning! Shyy with the Red Bull clutch!
Oh, my genius doesn't stop in the lab.
And again, Asuna peaked too early. His teammate was not there yet. How is this happening? It's Bang instead, actually. Who's ahead of the play? Ready to fight, but Shyy too clean. This is a guy who's been so consistent this game for the Leviatán. Honestly, been the star
Here.
and the best performer for it in this series so far. Odin out for Derrek.
And the work not done for Leviatán. Yeah, they got that one. But they're gonna need to get a couple more just to get us to OT.
Look at the setup here. The mollies are actually primed for Taco.
Yeah, but they're cleared. It's just a turret now.
Yeah, both popped actually by Stella a little early. Shock in there from Noswar too. Could have taken one down. And we slow. Way down here, Leviatán exploring the map. I was saying how much of a thorn in their side this was, not giving them the room to pivot. This time, look, Mazino is still holding C, even within this 1 minute of round that's elapsed so far. They still have room to commit elsewhere. Oh, TP down long C, didn't see anything from Bang there. Which means you see Derrek rotating over towards A, actually, and they've left Stellar alone. Dart spotted him.
They're starting to rotate quickly. They understand where the hit's coming from. The blades from Taco are good as he looks for another.
Asuna's out by himself. Bang's not joining him yet.
He's just so ahead of the play, and it may be okay as he gets one. Bang with 3! Asuna in the 1v2.
Down,
Numbers
B.
again not on their side. Now Asuna's gonna have a turn to clutch one out. 50 HP.
Gun barrel might have been
Spike
spotted.
planted! But you're right. Position betrayed.
These rounds bouncing back and forth, over and over. Leviatán with 2 in a row now. And there it is, there it is. This is the chance for Owner to get his team the information that is critically needed. I think kiNgg was starting to get an idea in that last round. Again, that map control so key on Haven. But Mike, not willing to give up this game, gonna take the risk of allowing Owner back in. Remember, Leviatán, Owner used 2 timeouts early in the first half, so they didn't have a chance to talk to their coach this entire time. And that's why you see kiNgg silent right now. They're not discussing. Something that's been a problem for 100 Thieves in the past with this roster has been closing out games. It's consistently been a problem, just maybe outside of their LCQ run. But here they have the opportunity to bring us to a map 3 to stay alive in the series. And we'll see if this decision to call this timeout might have haunted them, but it also might be called because of the haunting decisions of the past.
3 of the last 4 for the attacking side as they're slowly starting to crawl their way back into this. It's a light buy for 100 Thieves too.
Look at the spread for Leviatán. Back towards map control. They want to take sewers though. You can see the ping. Out from the side of the team is going to take a lobby. Mazino held towards C, a very basic default. Taco through the smoke. Remember last time there was a big trap play here with the Mosh and the follow-up from the 100 Thieves players that caught Taco. This time there's no such thing. Early presence pulls 3 over towards A. Even Stellar moving out. Ooh, missed shock. That's supposed to take down the alarm bot, maybe the molly. And it does do that.
Just one.
But there's a follow-up turret there, so they're considering it. And they know still nothing into that B site. Bang just smoked. He just used his second smoke on A. There's a huge opportunity here for Leviatán to walk up dry and challenge Bang.
And all he has now is a flash, but he was ready for it. Taco up top, the dart, the fault line, the everything.
off.
He's got to get away.
There's 3 rifles here for 100 Thieves. So they're waiting for them to get back in position. Stellar with an ult 2. I don't know if you're going to invest that in this round. Given you don't have a full buy.
Yeah, do you risk it? Maybe you get Derrek one more kill and then Hunter's Fury and then perhaps you invest.
All 5 players are down A though. This smoke is going to fade. Bang's not going to have a second.
Another 5v5. The mosh pit pushing Mazino around.
Wingman defusing.
Wingman attempting to defuse, but instantly gets cleared out. Mazino ahead of it, but they were able to get it back.
What is that from kiNgg? He's jumping.
Massive.
Standing ahead.
That's what I was saying about the smoke fading. He doesn't have a second for this. Now he does. But it's too late. Way too late.
Yeah, there's just no way in at this point.
Is there a Vandal for him to pick up? Okay, I was wondering why he was running away there. Oh, and kiNgg fell. Not going to be a big issue. They have Bank to buy him up, but they won't be able to get any pocket Odins or anything like that. We go the distance here in regulation. 100 Thieves want to close out. They want to so bad. You could see that given the timeout that just occurred. And Leviatán have mounted a comeback of their own. Since relying on this more default map control style. Again, those pivots. You just saw the success of it. But it looks like more towards B instead. This has been successful in its own right.
3 ults for 100 Thieves here. Big ones. Cryo with the op too. They push Bang up into Cubby, but the hit's going to be B. Clear the ult early on. Hunter's Fury from Derrek, and that's going to get info. That's going to get damage. That's going to get 2! What an opener from Derrek!
And we've got a Thrash as well to clear. I'm looking at Mazino. He's on the big flank here, and he's gone.
Derrek's already gotten 3.
2v5.
Bang on the closer. They can smell it. They know it's there. It's just NZR now. Bang gun hunting. Stellar on the defuse. And Lotus on the cards.
Defenders win.
My goodness, what a series. And this is great play from both sides. Both hitting very hard. Leviatán winning in the first map and mounting a valiant comeback attempt. Faltering in the final moments, but 100 Thieves able to withstand a very, very strong Leviatán. One of the best in the league. They're sitting at the top of the standings right now, other than Loud, with a 3-1 record. They're looking very primed for playoffs, whereas 100 Thieves are fighting for their lives.
Fighting for their lives in the standings. They were fighting for their lives at the end of that map. Remember, it was a ferocious attempt at a comeback that faltered in the waning moments. 100 Thieves able to close things out off of a clutch ult from Derrek. What a massive round from him to put things away, to send us to the next map. And yeah, it got a little scary at the end. It didn't feel good, but you've got to be positive hanging after what that map was, after how they closed that out. Once again, we're going the distance. Lotus on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
Hundred Thieves told Leviatán, anything you can do, we can do just as good. As they take Leviatán's map pick of Haven and force a game number 3. This is what it's all about, people. Welcome back. Oldemo here alongside with Mimi as well as Rivington. And out of the gate, I'm just blown away by just how awesome this game has been. It truly is the gift that keeps on giving, Mimi.
The first half was so close in this map, and I thought it was going to continue like Icebox, where it would be back and forth till the bitter end. But 100 Thieves in the second half, after winning that second round eco, they just snowballed. The defensive side was looking excellent for them. Stellar's calling felt on point, was always in the right position for the team at the right time against these Leviatán side execs.
Yep.
And for Leviatán, it was so uncharacteristically scrappy from them.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, go ahead, Please.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, because I think part of that boils down to the fact, Riv, and I think you were going to touch on this, is that Leviatán, you know, they come in with so much prep. So does 100 Thieves as well. Yeah. But to be able to break that down is really a testament to the work that the coaches did with the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Leviatán always finding a way to get their rounds with aggression or switch up their rounds so they can get into the site and play it differently. Adaptation, always a key here as we see some of the plays. This is from the 100 Thieves side. And they were able to just recoup, like Mimi said, after that eco round, and play off each other so well throughout the entirety of the map.
And that was what was interesting to me about this attacking side from Leviatán. They were going for a lot of these just hard site execs. It didn't feel like we were seeing that normal, like, mid-round excellence that we oftentimes see from this team. I think back to some of the games we've already seen in Americas where kiNgg is making these great calls on the attacking side to pivot for this squad. And it just wasn't happening here on Haven. Instead, 100 Thieves felt squarely in control of that game. They played some really well-coordinated retakes throughout this one. Everyone was stepping up individually. And it was actually them that I was looking at and thinking, hey, they're the team with some good protocols, some good coordination throughout this one, which are normally the talking points for Leviatán.
Yeah, well, there's a little fun tidbit. You still think that little bro's a gimmick?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's never going to be the main comp, but I think it's a cool kind of one-off comp to play. 100 Thieves likes that stuff.
Totally.
Also, he planted a lot. Cool little guy.
Cool guy.
Review.
It helps.
Go, guy.
Yeah, just real quick, it's not something we get into, but one thing we have to figure out at some point is why can't 100 Thieves do the same thing on offense? They have such a solid defense. They're so good at identifying the best protocol, best scenario of how to retake a site from a team, but it's only once they're in a position where they have the opposing team locked into a box. Once if they're on attack, they're like, well, we don't know where they could be. It's just how's it get so much harder?
I think it feels like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like we're getting there. It feels like 100 Thieves is starting to find that confidence. I think part of that as well is because of Cryo. He really has been such a player to step up for this team, Amy.
He absolutely has. It started off strong with the Omen on Icebox, but on this map, he came alive first in the attacking half with some really great rounds, shutting down Tacolilla, who's normally such a big win condition on these 3-site maps where Leviatán is relying on him to get information and frags in the mid-round, and that momentum just continued into the second half, and the crowd here was huge on this guy.
As they should be, man. He was unreal, and if he keeps on doing this, 100 Thieves are I think they found themselves, like, at least in this series, that thing that they just need to lean on right now. Cryo's hot. Let that boy frag. Let him get to work with.
It needs to happen now. The crowd's behind him. You hear the fans. He is just reeling it all in, and it is not putting more pressure on him. It feels like that's what he's needed to open up, to vibe, to be the aggressive Cryo and not the passive Cryo.
Yeah, that's right. Well, folks, everyone, us included, by the way, this is awkward, has rated Leviatán as a top 3 team, right? But here's the thing. Coach Owner is well aware of the team's reputation, and here's what he thinks about having to live up to that hype.
Mi expectativa era alta. Normalmente veo las opiniones de foros de internet y otros jugadores y otros equipos y nos ponían muy alto, como dentro de los 3 equipos mejores de América. Y eso es una presión. Habla del potencial que el equipo ha mostrado en entrenamientos y en algunos partidos en stage, pero tenía dudas si podíamos realmente estar dentro de los 3 mejores equipos, y todavía falta, pero siento que con esta victoria y la de Energy estamos empezando como a demostrar el equipo que podemos ser.
And the reason why, I said, like, oh, that was awkward, is because us as NA fans, right? Us as NA Valorant followers, like, to come into Americas and be like, well, Loud and Leviatán, they're dominating the scene right now, and they've just only continued to grow. But even then, they feel like there's still so much work to do. That makes them a scary team.
And you can see Owner still seeing the work left to do, I think, in the timeouts that he used in this game. The casters were talking a lot about this, but both of those invested in the first half, fixing mistakes he was seeing. It feels like it's been happening a lot today, where Owner has wanted to call that timeout, get involved in the conversation, fix an issue that's been cropping up for this team. But then that meant in the second half that they were left alone without his voice in the conversation. And it really felt like they were kind of chattering.
I didn't even factor that in because, yeah, they used
another one.
both timeouts early on. So those boys were kind of just left by themselves here. Well, let's go ahead and move on, though, to map 3 as we take a look. It is going to be Lotus. But, yeah, I mean, they're definitely, Mimi, going to have to be cognizant of that, especially going into this decider. You got to have that opportunity to be able to communicate with the squad, keep them calm.
They will, but the team that I'm looking for in Lotus, with the pressure on them, is 100 Thieves. This team right now is sitting at 0-3 on the map. They've been trying to make this fade raise work. Last time we saw them, they pivoted over to this Jet solo controller double initiator composition, which I also think was kind of a read that's off on the map. Everyone's playing double controller here these days.
Yeah.
It gives you so many more options in the mid round instead of being super reliant on that one duelist and the tons of initiator utility you're investing into them.
The initiator utility is what I look at, because I look at this and they're the only other team, 100 Thieves with Cloud9, to run breach here. So they're favoring, again, a lot of retake, a lot of being able to control the site, but is it enough? You can do that with double controller, maybe.
You can, and we've seen teams like Leviatán, players like Nasr thrive as that solo initiator, as we'll see here. But Asuna locks in the Sky instead, which makes me think they're going to pivot to Harbor Viper here. Will Bang lock in that Harbor? Is that the answer they're going for? No. Instead, it's the Viper Omen. Excuse me, it's Lotus. So it is going to be the Viper Omen. That's generally a double controller, not the Harbor here, but still a through line with the meta we've seen at large.
Yeah, exactly. And it just also continues to show Asuna's range as well. I mean, this guy can just play any agent, anytime. You need him to do something, he can probably do it. Unreleased agent, kid probably played it already. He's unreal. Unreal stuff. Well, this is it, folks. I mean, we got everything all locked in. Now that we're here at the finish line, do you guys feel like this is a 100 Thieves win?
Oh, you're pointing at me. I thought you were pausing, Mimi. I'm going to go ahead and say it is a Leviatán win.
This should be a finish for Leviatán.
Okay, we're finishing it up here. Let's see how this works out. Does the crowd think that? Let's send it back over to your casters. It's Doug and Bala. Do I smell an upset?
That's a question on everyone's minds, GB. One map to decide it all, and it's game time here on Lotus. Leviatán got pushed around on Haven. 3 sites again on Lotus. Do you think there are any correlations there on how game plans are approached?
No, not at all. I think this is a very different map, and both the C and A main areas are much more contentious than what we saw put forward in terms of Haven, given that it's just basically a lobby that is a stand-in for what we see on Lotus. Plus, the comps are so far different. I mean, Viper, Omen on this map is so strong. Mimi was right. It's the through line, and it's good to see 100 Thieves pick it up. They've been so far behind the meta on Lotus that a shift in this regard is very nice to see.
Early flash and teleport to get Mazino past half wall. Meanwhile, there's a fight also happening by Mound.
Love King fighting with the turret of Shyy there underneath Mound, and Stellar's definitely chunked down. Asuna's nowhere near being able to fight for him. Shyy is actually going to be challenged, and he jumps on the box that is so dangerous.
Every single side offered a fight to open this map. Early aggression A, early C, and then the fight B to close things out.
A lot of times when you see so much on the rest of the map, you don't expect that door to be actual pressure through from Mazino, but it is. But it's actually allowing them a lot of space in B right now. Asuna's flash is back up. He might flash in just an instant once this wall goes down by Stellar. Here comes info gain, but sight lost.
Mazino made so much noise, A, but look at 100 Thieves. They haven't really moved. Yeah, Asuna tagged up from the beginning skirmish, but a deep flash confirms their suspicions. Now the Trailblazers are getting some info, and they're going to want to scale up. Taco's paranoid. Gets paranoid, has to back up.
That's a good trade there for Taco. He's very happy about that.
Oh, that's a clean one out from Taco. He spotted another head walk by as well. Derrek on the trade. 2v2.
They clear the site.
Not halfway there, and they have a turret. What? Cover. This is going to be tough for NZR. He cannot pull it off.
It's Derrek again, too, which, by the way, he is playing Killjoy in this map. Such a far-off role. We've seen other NA teams struggle with finding who should play the KJ in these double controller setups that are required in this meta. And Leviatán, they had the advantage there. They're actually going to force base off of that. Almost every single kill garnered. And it's Stinger full armor.
Wow.
Full investment.
And we haven't seen this all series.
I've seen a couple light buys out from them in that regard, but most of the time one person's not going for it or something like that where they can all buy next. They're gonna use this wall and force their way into C. Let's see how. Asuna, Derrek.
It's a deep flash and the spam through. Bangs rewarded with a kill.
Up till that last one on Haven, 100 Thieves was flawless on the anti-ecos. We've seen, there's been a lot of them.
Still using some utility to hold the line. Leviatán getting one back.
Out of healing.
All of the rotations have been drawn from the defensive side with the exception of Cryo, who's holding the flank. He's so far ahead of everything here that if Leviatán rotate all the way through, he can end the round by himself. A turret holding some of that, but it seems like Leviatán want to end back C. Back where they started. And off of the smoke going down, that's going to be the cue. Bang's going to put up another one, but they've already gotten past it. Stellar spam through the wall once again. So clean. Picking up right where he left off.
Very clean there from the initial pick. And Leviatán is falling into a pattern here on almost all the maps where, especially on their force buy rounds, their light buy rounds, their eco rounds, they have one idea and they send it until completion. Essentially keeping up the pressure on whoever is holding against it the entire time. And that might end up working in situations where they do get picks where their opponents need to start to pivot, but there again, it's 100 Thieves with the advantage, and over they continue to just send it through. Watch. With this space that they have, yeah, they've given up space on A, but I bet you they continue to force through this.
Yeah, it seems like 100 Thieves are thinking the exact same thing that you are. Yep, they just continue to push, and they continue to push right into their crosshairs, but they've made something out of this with Sheriffs. Now they have the pit online. They're going to have full control of A, too. And they've upgraded weapons. Remember, this was off of Leviatán's broken buy. They had forced in the previous round, so they shouldn't have had anything to fight back with.
Now, this is what I was talking about keeping up the pressure, right? The flash gone, all of a sudden, there's less room to work with for 100 Thieves. They have to rely on their shots. And the pit, too. Ah, they turn this. Oh! Great awareness from Asuna. Continues to get smoke kills constantly, and now the pressure on both sides.
Dude just has a sixth sense. Derrek clearing everything out. Oh, I thought he was going to get that too.
Love that from Shyy. Ducked right under him and out. He has to walk through this. Decay all the while.
He hears the turret, the tap first, drawing out any sort of a swing.
Has to do this on 1 HP.
There's that sixth sense once again, spamming through, trying to get another, but time is short! What on earth? But he didn't have enough time.
And Leviatán does not care at all about losing those weapons. Remember, they didn't actually invest in that one. Just a couple of Sheriffs, given the force that they had in the second round. So, talk about keeping up the pressure. This is what I was talking about. Look, ammunition gone. They were all spamming as they were trying to run out. And they find the gaps in the reloads. Very nicely done from Leviatán. Curious now. I think they had 3 win on that force buy. 3 survive from 100 Thieves, so I'm surprised to see them not have a buy or purchase here in this case.
Blinded.
Blades used to open the round by Cryo. And you can see the setup, right? They have a deep flash. They also had a paranoia setup for Bang if there was more aggression towards Mount for Cryo to take space and take a fight. And it looks like they're glad to take that space anyway, off of the Trailblazer. So Cryo's going to get up into a very aggressive spot here with the Blades.
King fell back.
Oh, but the paranoia catches him. He has to take a step back, but he continues to push forward right into Shyy.
And Bang's paranoia might have just costed them there. Fortunately for the 100 Thieves. Another flash for info for Asuna. He'll garner it. But this Viper Wall and Orb, he has no idea whether they're actually continuing to walk up with the 45 seconds they have left. So he has to play patient, has to play passive.
I have the spike.
No way to gather info either.
Oh, the stun's gonna be huge for Taco.
Oh, Asuna was so dead, man. He was so dead. Well done by Leviatán.
Chance for Derrek there with the spray transfer off the dink to maybe find himself another kill.
Spike planted.
Spike given over to Taco, by the way, for an extra knife orb. Yeah, not much gonna be able to get caught here from Stellar. Maybe an arm, but not a life.
He's just a little bit ahead of the flank too. Checking to see if kiNgg was going to be rotating around or anyone really. And kiNgg is close by. But for Stellar here, he just wants to die to the spike.
Couple threads to pull on here for both sides. This mound fight that we saw, of course, just Cryo with knives here, the biggest threat, but there's definitely traps there for 100 Thieves. You called it out, that Bang Omen paranoia through Waterfall is a threat. And then this A main fight too. 100 Thieves have given up on the tools by going away from that breach to really fight hard in this choke. But they still have the opportunity to take space when it's not taken by Lev. Big ults here online for Leviatán mainly.
And a big fight set up here too. Bang once again off of the flash, takes aggressive space, drops the paranoia, they've used the Seekers, but kiNgg gets 3!
Poison's off.
And just being able to dodge the flash and jump over the root super fast, gets past Bang. And then the flash as well, keeping the players who are supposed to hold kiNgg away. That's just nasty from the IGL, and again, finding the gap. He's so good at that. Surprising wall as well used here from Leviatán. It's not actually covering the A side. It's used instantly at the beginning of the round. Covers both the breakable door and the stairs too. Gives them an avenue towards A, but that's not one that they're going to rely on as a default. Remember, it's normally that C wall paired with the orb.
Attack inside looks like it wants to go hunting. Cryo has that op.
Blinded.
Derrek has a rifle. There's still some time to this too. 100 Thieves also doesn't have very much money. So preserving these weapons is of the essence. Cryo on the first miss. Derrek's falls. Cryo's does too. Leviatán don't just get the round. They don't just get the lead. They take the weapons out of 100 Thieves as well.
And it's the timeout for 100 Thieves. A shift in the momentum and the understanding of this. This is a little bit of what I was scared of, and I think why the desk all settled on favoring Leviatán to close out here is because 100 Thieves has been struggling on this map. They haven't really found an identity. This is their third comp so far that we've seen in LA only. Stellar has played 3 different roles on this map. Cryo has played both Raze and Jet on this map. They've had 3 entirely different approaches, sometimes double controller, but even Bang, for example, not playing the Astra. Going back to the Omen, I think it's definitely now meta for 100 Thieves. But how comfortable are you with this? And obviously you've given up on some of the earlier ideas which you wanted to have confidence in if you're that team, and might lessen your confidence about how you feel on this comp specifically.
Yeah.
Remember, 100 Thieves trying to fight for playoffs, trying to actually equalize with Cloud9, surprisingly, when tracking the North American teams.
Turret out.
They've started on the back foot, but it's not a horrible situation so far, especially given their win over the other LATAM team in crew earlier this week. So out of the timeout, let's see. They're still going for a feint towards this A control, but instead of actually TPing forward, Bang goes for a fake TP. Gets that one way up, but Leviatán immediately recognized the situation.
I wondered how much utility would be drawn out from that. There was a little. But But so far, it's just mind games upon mind games. Mazino once again tapping the door, a deep smoke. The benefit of knowing Bang is playing tucked by, so it is not an actual A hit.
You saw there the adjustment actually from Derrek to put the turret in front of the Viper wall instead of back up on top of that box. So that can spot kiNgg doing things like that, but kiNgg has been so good at actually breaking the KJ util on these slow rounds from Leviatán. They've had A main control this entirety, but Bang has snuck himself into a little bit of a cheeky position. They're going to abandon this though. Look at 100 Thieves. I think off of the information of the flash from Asuna, they've rotated everybody towards A after Derrek confirms there's nothing in front of that wall after the turret fell down. So Leviatán finding the right gap and hitting this B site.
Pushing up with the Trailblazer to get Taco into an aggressive spot as well. Panel still not broken. Does he have a paranoia? Is there something to funnel out? He does have that. But it's just sheriffs. There's the paranoia. He still gets the kill. I mean, they were expecting that from that exact spot.
One enemy remaining.
But it's just near sight, not a full flash. Stellar still with 2. That's pretty massive. But now, return of a massive lead here for Leviatán. It's a different story than Haven. Feels more familiar than Icebox, actually identical timeline. And alarm ball's got to be ringing here. This is out of the timeout for 100 Thieves 2 now twice.
Turret out.
They've lost since that time. And I think both approaches are working from Lev. Here, now Cryo's going to get his op online. He struggled on this map, but there's definitely avenues for him to get active.
Get out of my way!
Does he commit to this? He does. He's fully committed to the ult. The Seekers are going to give his position away, so he's going to have to go fast on this or else risk him getting pinched.
Allow them to clear the site. Looking where this ult is going to go for Bang. It's actually in spawn, so threatens Mound, but actually the lockdown pushes them all the way back anyways. I love the use of the lockdown of Leviatán though. Able to secure the space and hold it over Asuna.
Yeah, still holding that angle. Sees a blade whiz by his face.
They can cuss.
Gets a little bit of info. There's still a lot of time to flip the map here. Just a minute, just under a minute
That's what
left in the
Shy's
round.
faking right now. Opens the door and it pulls them, actually. 2 players from 100 Thieves actually leave. Asuna's gonna have to flash into B, and now they recognize that there's nobody in B. And 45 seconds, they could still end up pivoting. Look at what they've done though. They've left Taco with knives on the C side.
Shy's gone through. Third tap of the door now.
I mean, 100 Thieves are asking, what the heck are they
30
doing?
seconds left.
You mentioned Asuna having used his flash to confirm, and they've left Cryo in that spot with the op.
This plant might give up kiNgg the ults, and this retake is going to be really difficult unless they spring fast on it. kiNgg's Viper's Pit. He's rushing to get in position to do it right now.
Stellar has a pit as well, too. I wonder if they invested. He's just so far away.
One key thing, you can always threaten to fall off and drop the pit to play post plant, but Leviatán opting to stay inside.
Cryo perched up on high ground, looking for something with the op. Does not look like they're willing to commit that second pit. They don't want to fight through the chaos. They're just going to funnel their way in.
Oh.
And they're going to get numbers. Stellar gets 2. The pit's down. 100 Thieves have taken this site back.
That's not how the shorty's supposed to work in the pit. It's supposed to be the owner of the pit who can get those one taps. That is nasty out of Stellar. And I think you kept mentioning the idea of him dropping his pit. Leviatán want to stay inside their own though because of that threat. Because if they go fall off a site, drop their own pit, all of a sudden Stellar has full smoke coverage. They're spraying out. Great round from Stellar. Surprising that they're able to keep up with what was happening given the door was flipping and the ideas were flipping. Spinning round and round.
Hawk out. Blinded.
Cryo's op not getting any early pressure, no ults close by for Leviatán in this round. While Stellar still has his pit from before. Seen so many pump fakes out from the attacking side so far. And that's just leaving 100 Thieves guessing. First, it was a deep flash from Asuna mid. He just used his Trailblazer to control that area of the map as well and get some info as to what's going on.
Leviatán rotating back over towards A. Success so far in this game, on this map, but they've got to keep this lead growing. I will say, their defense has looked very strong in the past, but they look mortal today, and here comes the hit.
This was so cheeky, and kiNgg gets the kill off of that. It was a tap on the door, and then he paranoids, swings around, kiNgg finds another. I mean, he's just cracked the site open all the way by himself. They may just call it. Well, Derrek's kind of stuck here. He has no real option but to fight.
That might actually bait Cryo into trying to help him.
Yeah.
One enemy remaining.
And yeah, he's actually stuck here. Saving this off is going to be really difficult. They're all chasing him. Oh,
it's going to be impossible.
Taco. 5-3 now. Leviatán back in the driver's seat after that one-round win. They reset the loss bonus for 100 Thieves, and might have to see a couple of ecos in the next if Leviatán continue to roll. But it hasn't been super clean on anti-eco for Leviatán, and Asuna's going for a hero rifle, so definitely an opportunity. Remember that push down C-Long, that could have been completely different with Cryo's knives that one time, and it looks like they want to do something similar except towards B. Shyy's been poked before and fallen before.
Cryo's far up. There goes the rifle that you were referring to. Asuna's already dead. Bang on the trade, though, should be able to pick up the weapon.
Hey, Smokes picked it right back up and did challenge Shyy. They did get him out. Now this flank becomes a problem for Leviatán, but nobody from 100 Thieves even looking to go for it.
Careful here. Careful here.
2 rifles from 100 Thieves.
You can see they're considering the flank there. Ozzer pinging the backside. It's kiNgg who's going to consider it himself. Derrek's falling off. That turret might fall at the worst possible time. It's still up, and the hit is loud anyways. Bang with the gun.
He's close by.
Spike down, C.
Getting one on NZR. Now the 2 rifles that I was referring to now starting to rotate back towards the site.
30 seconds left.
Oh no, that's time bought.
Clean out from Derrek with the frenzy, but Mazino's trade is there.
They hear them both. Great crossfire from kiNgg now too.
Stellar and Cryo with so much to do. They try to funnel out, and there's the swing. There's the timing from kiNgg, and there's another round for Leviatán.
Scary moment. Mazino pulls out the smoke to try to smoke out spawn.
If only I could always.
Thankfully, kiNgg still with the movement. I mean, I don't get how this guy is getting... He's taking Cloud9's ability to run spray. One more time. Six to 3, this lead continues to balloon. 3 is the largest it's been so far, and kiNgg constantly actually relying on that wall. Cryo aggressive.
Again. And this time getting a kill for it. He has the dash proc. He could try to dip around for more. He did make an attempt, but has to give his face up. Meanwhile, at the opening of the round, Stellar uses his pit with the judge in hand to control B main.
Drop the spike.
Cryo's getting healed up at this time. Oh, that smoke is really cool. Allows him to walk across the regular turret that Derrek is going back towards, given the wall that kiNgg is using on the other side, but there's a duel happening.
Mazino went in. Mazino's right under them. He still gets a kill. I thought he was a lunatic for going forward.
Back towards this, kiNgg swinging through. If he dies to Bang, all of a sudden they don't have room in. Bang hears it now, the pressure's on.
Door's tapped. kiNgg has been so patient here. I mean, they were staring at each other for the entire time. HP and Bang. Finally, when Leviatan tried to strike, it's traded right back. Shyy in a 1v3 turned into a 1v2. Wrapping around the corner, see if he can get a kill on Asuna. The nano's there, but the bullets from Asuna are just better.
Very nicely done there. Cryo arrives at the right time, too, for Asuna to swing out, even though the nano was coming in. And they just won't let it get more than 3. But again, a reset opportunity. So with Cryo and Asuna staying alive there, they've got a decent amount of bank. Asuna's going to be able to drop a weapon in this one and potentially give them more leeway than they've had in the past. Mazino has been tempted to go for very aggressive Omen ults. Not sure if there's so many when it comes to the safe side, and they're going fast opening this revolving door in the tree.
He's gonna ult back there too.
Oh my goodness. They spotted him though. They know the setup on this site.
With that knowledge, the question is, do they continue to go deep flashes, deep paranoias, deep dashes as they try to continue to control the site? Holding some of the flank as 100 Thieves start to funnel out. And you've got to be careful here because Shy's controlling his pinch point. The smoke is going to be a problem, and the spam is there. 3v3, Stellar on the swing, Stellar dead.
Standing.
And now it's Bang with 33 HP, who switches weapons. 2 close by, none found.
Back to 3, and it's the final round now.
Round before the switch.
And look at the economy, it's in tatters.
You can hear the crowd trying to will the defensive side to a 5th, but you're right, the economy not looking great.
And this map is attack-sided, but given what I know about Leviatán and their defensive sides, 100 Thieves has done a great job against the retakes in this series so far, but how much is enough for Leviatán? 8-4 is definitely close to the average on this map.
Cryo with blades, Mazino spotted, the dash procced, and he gets away. You gotta be careful here. There's a lot of pinch coming from either side, yeah. A 1-for-1, now Seeker's used. The fight for C continues.
And I like the lockdown too, preventing the pivot into B that Taco might have been able to do. He died anyways, but the pressure's just on. And I think 100 Thieves starting to recognize this. They actually bring Derrek back in the fight. With Asuna there.
Stellar's getting really far ahead here on A.
Yeah, back on the eastern front.
Asuna's tucked. That's 3 on the round for him. The deep flash confirming another, and it's just funneling all into where Stellar's been playing.
Last player standing.
NZR falls. Stellar cleans it up, and it's a 5th for 100 Thieves.
Shaky aim activated in that last round. That is massive from 100 Thieves to keep things relatively even here as we go into the second half.
They've kept it close. Just when it felt like there was opportunity for it to get away, when it felt like 3 rounds could easily turn into 4, 7-5 is all they get. It's halftime, and Dryad is standing by with one of 100 Thieves' biggest fans. It's Bang's father, Carlos.
Thank you guys so much. And yeah, like you guys heard, I'm here with Carlos, Bang's dad, and he's super excited to be here. I want to ask you, how are you feeling about the arena? Because it has to feel like home with all the 100 Thieves fans over here.
I love the support. I want to give a shout out to the public. Thank you guys for your support. Yes, we're very excited, and with the entire team and Bang and all the gang behind the 100 Thieves. They're doing an incredible job. The managers, the coaches, everybody is so supportive, and there's nothing that we love more, my wife and I, than support this team. And we're really happy to be here. And as you can see, I lost my voice because I've been...
It's exciting. It's so exciting. And we love to have you here as well. I want to ask you, for Bang, he's one of the youngest players that we have in America's League. How has that whole process been for you as a parent? He graduated high school just last year. So how was everything for the school and also making sure that he's getting to play to this level?
I take my hat off to him because he managed to do both, to practice and to get his degree. And he's a very dedicated player. He's a very dedicated player, and he loves this game. And there's nothing more than I love than to support him and his team. We'll go to the end of the world to support him. My wife and I actually moved to Los Angeles, you know, to support him. So we love you guys. We love LA. We love 100 Thieves. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, and we're so happy once again to have you here. Everybody here cheering for 100 Thieves, so we gotta see if they get the win as we go back to the casters.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Triad. Yeah, we'll see if the family buff, if the crowd buff is going to be enough to get them past this deficit. It's a close one. And yes, Lotus should be attacking sided, which is where 100 Thieves are headed, but Leviatán have looked very strong in this map.
This is where they got that dominant win over NRG. That kind of has spiraled things for NRG. And see if they can bring out that same level, because Shyy was a monster and that kiNgg was a monster. Taco got activated in that early on in that defensive half. He's been good, but not great so far for Leviatán in this series. And he's dueling out C-Long right now.
Taco very far up.
Oh, that's stunned him.
Utility. But still no kill netted yet, as it just spams through smokes. Taco getting the first.
And he's away. Oh, is he? Not quite. They're spamming still on the cross. They heal him before he actually makes that commitment. Tapping the door there for Derrek. If they actually intend to go B, might actually give up the plot. 2 players there already. But no, they're actually rotating back towards this orb that Stellar put at the beginning of the round.
Poison's off. Toxins going up.
So he's scared to drop that, having no info on what's been happening in A main. Guns at the ready.
Toxin screen down.
But no presence yet. Now tapping the door of their own. Stellar's just so far ahead of this already. It looks like they're going to want to NB. Derrek's going to be pinching in on the flank, and as soon as that door goes down, they can commit. They're just waiting for him to get into the right position. Now they funnel through.
Shyy get out. Yes, he does.
30 seconds left.
Clear the turret, see if they can get a kill, but he's up close. Oh. Dude, Stellar's so recklessly aggressive right now, and it's working.
And look at the follow-up flank. The alarm bot's down, so Asuna takes the opportunity to go for it. But kiNgg's considering, and Taco's joining too.
But Bang's close by, just when you feel like you have one of them isolated. Lulled into a false sense of security. Thinking it's a dead man walking. It actually looks like it's Leviatán who will fall here, but there are very weak members on the side of 100 Thieves. Time is of the essence, so NZR is going to have to go fast. He won't be able to die to the spike. Take another with him.
That changes the outlook that you were thinking after Taco wins that first duel against Cryo. Because Leviatán winning the pistol would have been a massive boon for them to withstand this attack side from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've gone even on every single pistol round outcome, 3 out of 3 for both sides. So Leviatán now full save, barely anything invested, just an orb for kiNgg. What's the idea on it? Looks like it's posted up towards that C side.
They've sent 4 up into A main, but the Flash got some early info.
It's not counting numbers though. It's not a KO knife.
It's gonna spot one. There's a swing. The paranoia is good. Paranoia is very good. And now the 2 that remain just trying to jump and stay alive. Got a couple of kills.
Healing over here.
Just a little bit of damage done.
Oh, that was a nice little eco idea for Leviatán. Just basically relying on Taco to get contact, dashing away, and then they flash and fight around the corner while Mazino doesn't need to move at all. But it only nets them 2. Not enough to convert this round unless kiNgg can pull off some ridiculous ideas. And he spotted Found.
The train of thought derailed there. All he had was a classic. So we're tied at 7. We'll see what the bonus looks like for 100 Thieves. They did lose, what, 3 members there?
2. Overall in that initial trade. It's not quite a bonus canceled, but it does hurt their winning chances, although we've seen teams like Cloud9 willing to invest into it, and Stellar buys down to 500. So it's just one full buy, essentially, so they're still having a bonus, and it's strong.
Asuna with nothing but a frenzy, 1 point away from Seekers. Top fragging for his team for now.
You think that 4K round in the prior half might have activated him like we saw earlier in the week for him against Crew. He was the big savior. But that was on Raze and not on Shyy. Let's see if he can carry it through. They actually get all the way up Broken Door. Shy's going to be watching.
That's the Seekers online and used instantly. Cryo falls.
Spamming off of Taco's contact there. A really nice idea.
No charges there.
And we've gotten ourselves into a patented Leviatán retake situation. Advantage towards them, 5v4.
100 Thieves not taking some of that aggressive space that we've seen. It seemed like they considered it. They wanted to go after it, but they choose not to. Just leaving Stellar on the site. Playing in the crevice of the site. Dancing around the smoke. Timing not great. kiNgg gets a kill, and now what? NZR with another. They're gonna have to spam their way through this if they want to try to preserve this, and it's just so difficult to do. So difficult to do.
Shyy goes huge there. He's not afraid to fight. Early on in these rounds on Haven, he was a monster on defensive first kills. Here again, taking down Cryo. Hasn't been able to get anything significant. It's actually 4 and 5 in first engagements. That's Cryo. Let's see if you can get an op-up. No, not with the damage that they took to their economy on that first anti-eco.
Swarm grenade.
And remember, that light investment from Stellar forces him down to a Spectre here. So not only did he bolster the last round, but he weakens this round. That's the opportunity cost.
There were a couple of pings on the minimap deep into B before the round started from 100 Thieves. It's one way and the deep flash. I believe Mazino got away. It's another orb farmed into Asuna, who just used the Seekers in the previous round. Clearly a part of their plan.
Across here, Taco and Mazino. Dash in, there's a TP up as well from Bang.
Mazino
possible.
Dealing with that early, the paranoia as he tries to swing around another spots too many. Indecisive.
And Shyy and Taco now back off after they get the advantage. This is how their retakes are so good. Taking what they can and then falling off. Stellar's gonna go aggressive again. We've seen this multiple times now. He's gotten success in the pistol, but the next 2 times he tried it costed the round. Had to make a play though, so I respect it. I think it's a good idea. Now Asuna 1v3. It's a start.
No damage taken. Has a flash. Dancing around beneath him. Here's him. Position given away. Dealt some damage though. Insignificant, really.
Yeah. Ooh, big desk slam actually. Definitely a chance there, but I think his options limited with that plant that it was. You saw he wanted to back off towards Waterfall.
Yeah.
But then he realized he has to play up close because it's in that corner. You can tell. Timeout called. Calm things down a little bit. Good choice from Mike. It was him who ended up calling that timeout to close out that last game, which has been a significant problem for 100 Thieves over the lifespan of rosters like this one. Call it before it gets out of hand.
And with the opportunity that they have before them, it's crazy to think about. But right now, if 100 Thieves are able to take this series, they're going to be tied with Leviatán in the standings. Given how drastically different of a start they've had to the season, to find themselves at 3-2 apiece is just wild. But again, 100 Thieves calling a timeout here, realizing they've got a shot at this thing. It's close, it's within reach.
This game could decide the future of 100 Thieves' playoff chances, so it's almost a must-win situation. Not quite, but almost there, because their schedule is really tough. Next games for 100 Thieves, NRG, and then the Brazilian gauntlet, Loud, MIBR, and Furia still remain for them to play. That's tough for anybody.
Placing alarm bot.
But especially a team whose expectation was higher so far in this season.
A main aggression again from Leviatán. This time a slightly different flavor though. Bank spots one, cleans him up. But the trade is there, back and forth. Stellar with another.
Just stingers. But here the opportunity for Leviatán is they have room to pivot and play with Shyy inside this breakable door. So it's tough for them to actually walk through. Seeker's gonna allow this. And if they can get on the site, they can get a pit, and this could be a round converted on a light pie.
Welcome to my world.
There's the pit that you were just mentioning, gonna creep out just enough to give them time to spot to plant.
And nothing found from Taco there. Definitely hurts. They're saving already.
Wow. They've got money too. But yeah, choosing to save here early.
Just Leviatán way. There's so many rounds to play that this decision to run away is definitely advisable, even though the bank is good right now. This allows future drops and future rounds.
Swarm grenade out.
And again, Leviatán, this is the team that saves the most out of anybody, and you can't fault them for it. They're 3-1 so far. Have had some tough challenges.
But yeah, but they're clearly doing something right. Yeah.
Every step they take towards stealing away this lead from Leviatán is boosting that confidence. That one specifically, again, Leviatán is actually struggling in situations like that against the light buys, against the ecos. That's another one. That might be their fourth so far in this series, and it's hurting. Remember, the first time that happened, an Icebox owner instantly called the timeout. Doesn't have that luxury anymore because he knows this series is going to go down to the wire.
Deep clash into A main once again. Cryo gets one and then instantly dropped.
I'm loving what I'm seeing from Leviatán there, even though it's not going their way. Opening up that door and dueling a little bit more delayed allows for some interesting trades and to force this game to get scrappy. Sometimes you make those decisions and you allow yourself to find room to put down a lockdown or something like that and make the situation force Stellar to have to call a fantastic mid-round.
kiNgg here with 3 on the other side. Yeah, you've got Shyy close by, but this all kind of falls on him.
He's got the molly to play around once this orb goes down too. Not only his own, but the nano swarm.
Oh! Good night. That was so fast.
He's looking for info, and they're just trained on him. Dog missed, though. Didn't spot him.
Shyy did not. Oh, it finally does hit him. It just took a longer route.
And again, it's the same exact angle. They are just dominant through that one. Derrek and Asuna now. Do they make the read? Taco's not have any util to give up his position that other agents might. And the turret, I think, is actually watching Waterfall, so Asuna has to cover it.
Planted.
Confirming the positioning. There's the turret that you just mentioned. Taco in a clutch situation. Can he preserve the lead for his squad? With time. with time ticking away, he has to try to spot and get any info that he can. Trying to bait out a fight, trying to get a 1v1, and they're just not giving it to him. When they finally do, Asuna clutches it out.
Little step there, and Taco might actually have the advantage on Asuna in that fight.
Like us, but
Good patience from Asuna there. 2v2 situation that on Icebox was not going in their direction. kiNgg falling on that jump spot is actually absurd.
Crowd still alive and well. Trying to will the team to a win. Tied at 9 apiece. And owner calling a timeout here.
The Bang family in the crowd still. Ready to come through. 400 Thieves, 9-9. Opportunity to take the lead right now. Leviatán has been giving them up the sight, and I think in that round they had the opportunity to really hold on. Remember the approach on Icebox? Remember how that one went? They relied early on their retakes and then started really dueling as the anchors. I think that was the idea there, but kiNgg just gets battered. And remember the decisions to save right now. You're looking at the economy. Shyy has just dropped 2 weapons. And if it wasn't for that, this would be a broken buy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
KJ ult Seekers here. A big set of them. And it duels towards C instead of A.
It's a little bit more labored this time as well, a little bit slower. But will the outcome be the same? Smokes, flashes, everything.
Turret replaced, indicating that they want to approach elsewhere on the map. kiNgg has a really wide angle past this wall right now.
here.
And Stellar will have to cycle to get him off that angle. He's getting info to allow a 2-2 setup on C and B. And it looks like they want to pivot towards C after pressuring B. But there's so many mind games possible here. So they actually accomplished what they initially set out to do at the beginning of the round by opening up this door and going through B instead. But look at the alarm bot that they get too. So that disallows a flank and opens up the possibility of Derrek going for his own.
Cryo dashing forward. Oh my goodness, Mazino! How have you snatched it back like this? 100 Thieves on the trade back. Shyy still has his ult. And they've paused, they've regrouped.
15 seconds. They can sprint through B, but they won't.
Do they choose to get the spike down and just back up? Yeah, that seems to be the case. Derrek's timing not great.
I think Cryo thought he might find it, spot a gap in the back of the site, but no, it's not there.
This is going to be brutal for Cryo to pull off a 1v3, turns into 1v2. The transfer's not there as Leviatán take the lead back.
Who's that gun here?
That's the sort of thing that Leviatán are trying to do right there. Mazino getting 2 kills. And then Taco a 3rd. Falling off the site. How did he do this? Finding the timing between the jet smoke to rush up into that angle that actually Asuna and Derrek have been monstrous on. So a big risk and it pays off. There's no smoke to actually obscure that sight line either.
Just 1 round separating these 2 teams. And that's just following the trend of what the entire series has been. Tightly contested battle. And we're just a few rounds away from seeing who will emerge victorious. Lots of bolts on the attacking side. The lockdown. Blades for Cryo. And they're dashing forward. He's gone hunting. Yeah, Cryo was hot to trot onto kiNgg's tail.
I've got your track.
Committing the Seekers, committing the ults, committing everything.
Oh, Taco's super high.
Didn't even aim. Yeah. It's just on top of that double box, and they don't know.
Shyy again on the flank. Takes down the spam angle. KJ lockdown, though, is going to force him away from that, so they have the opportunity to go back into it. Oh.
Oh, boy, but Stellar again! Dropping back down.
They're saving. They're saving. Just one kill, and that's all it takes. It's either a 5v5 retake or they're only taking it whether they're 4v3 or 4v2.
Careful here.
And again, still a lot of Valorant to play here. This is round 20. Got 3 left in regulation. Excuse me, 4 left in regulation. And you can tell their bank is finally hurting for the first time on this defensive side for them. 100 Thieves is pushing them to the limit. They just aren't quite yet ready to take the lead. Once they do that, they're going to be in the driving seat, and Leviatán will be forced to take those engagements, forced to take those retakes.
Once again, a Clash A main. Mazino ahead of it this time around, but he's Flash and Bangs dancing around the wall. Somehow they both stay alive, but it's just temporary. It's just momentary. Much like Leviatán's hold to the lead right now.
It is fleeting. I think Derrek's turret was disactivated right there. He pulled it away. And kiNgg is now the opportunity to flank. That alarm belt there is there, though.
2v4. How far up has he scaled? The alarm belt that you just mentioned gives his position away. Derrek, but he boldly swings.
And Nauser is ahead of the play right now. He actually understands that they're falling back. I think given the fact that he may have flashed to show his position on A. But you can't open this door.
Oh. I wonder if his positioning here was just in an attempt to save, to be honest.
I think he was trying to get ahead of them, rotating into B, actually. Get a nasty off angle, but I mean, you have to try to get something here. 1v4, there's not really much to get, so you're right. It's another save. Another save in a risky position here, actually, from Nosworth.
Yeah. But it reminds me of what you pointed out a couple of rounds ago, Ball, these early decisions to save and how effective they've been in keeping Leviatán's economy afloat, but it just feels like it's busted now, like you were saying.
Actually looking on stage too. Doesn't look like there's much communication from the players right now about what to adjust, what to fix. And there it is. The lead finally attains. Stolen away by the Thieves.
Leviatán calling a timeout, the last for either squad. It's just Valorant from here on out. We wouldn't have it any other way. 100 Thieves hanging on to a narrow one-round lead that they finally, through persevering efforts, have managed to snatch away. And not a moment too soon. They've won 4 of the last 5. This comeback has been ferocious.
Owner has to come up with a patented eco round win. Because right now, economy hurting. It's dire for Leviatán. And the body language for the first time I think I've seen out of this squad. Looks devastated, look like they are out of ideas. This team who has so much staying power, so much ability to stay in the scrappy games, to stay in the close games. Moments delivered over and over on stage. When the pressure's on. The thing is, for them, they still have plenty to play for. 100 Thieves is, again, fighting for potential playoff chances. A double TP again. Bang has faked it, though. So Mazino, who had the opportunity to put away Bang and actually stop that hit last time, does get the space. Actually, Low key might be the first time Leviatán gets it.
Here.
And 100 Thieves, given the economy situation on the other side, they're happy to just pivot over towards B.
Yeah, feeling the pressure that way. Decide to rotate elsewhere. Panel has been broken, so Leviatán should be able to funnel through very quickly here.
No charges left.
But they want to rotate over. Taco's going to try to get in through spawn. But you have to be careful because you have no idea if it's been scaled up already, exactly where Cryo is. Do they have any ults? They have King's Pit. But this could be huge. It is! Oh, it is! Series point on the cards. Mazino with the rifle, and I think we know how this one ends.
GBS at the beginning of the day is an upset in the cards. I would definitely characterize this possibility as an upset. 100 Thieves with the lead again.
Match point. And the highly coveted gun that they were trying to save into the next round dropped.
Which means if a comeback is going to be attempted here, if Leviatán want overtime, it has to be clean in this one to have a solid economy in the last. Can't be down to the wire, can't be a clutch situation. Has to be a team effort. Match point, 100 Thieves, a long series. But another attempt at a reverse sweep in a best of 3, losing the first, and now to see them here.
King still with his pit. And he doesn't use it early, just waiting for confirmation on where 100 Thieves are going to end up. Now chooses to invest it. And I think we've seen this a couple times. They're just going to rotate away, but you've got Shyy holding the line. Drops a little bit of damage, runs away.
Oh, there's dashing into the B-split.
They're fully committed to this. They're going to scale their way up. Taco's on the spam. Derrek's already fallen.
Mazino's got control of the main.
The flash is there, but well done by Taco to get away.
They're running through waterfall. What's going on right now? Taco knows the play. You're right.
They've got them. Yeah, Bang falls. But it traded right back.
Heroic still possible.
Got the spike planted down as well, so another layer to consider. Another problem to solve. Cryo snap, not good enough. Stellar's been good. He's been bold. He's been aggressive. But is he 1v4 good? Is he 1v3 good? Spam's there. Mazino's gotten it to half. But the clip runs dry at the most inopportune time. Leviatán not done yet.
But I don't know if they have a choice right now. Their economy is going to be shambles for this last round. Stellar killing 2 people there, despite not being able to 1v4. Although, that's been in the cards for him before. He might have just done a significant amount of economic damage. Bulldog, Spectre. Bought up Spectre for Taco. He's got the knives, though. So it might not all matter. Second opportunity, 100 Thieves, match point, series point. But Leviatán want to go up to 4 wins in this Americas League.
This is the first time they gamble, and it's on opposite sides. Think about how often we've seen them clash A and clash C. This time, different approaches. They've left Mazino, though, who has teleport. He should be able to get away in the face of pressure.
That flash might have been too deep to give information about whether they're here. Yeah, they're going to need to follow up with a Trailblazer.
A bit of utility that they'd love to have a little bit further up. But no. 100 Thieves considering how they put them away. One last punch.
Stellar wants to get this pit. They want to push on this site. Taco's here, Mazino's here. Orb to try to walk in, but Taco info on top of it.
NZR's close by too. They're gonna flip the switch. And it's gonna be Shyy who's the first to fall. There's a pit that you mentioned. They're also dashing around. They're spreading out. That's the pit.
Down B. 30 seconds
4v3 still in favor of 100 Thieves. Mazino lands a shot. He gets it to 3. He gets it to 2. It's just 1 left. Bang. Spike not in hand. Well out of reach. How does Bang do this? 13 seconds left. 1v2. Paranoia to buy some time. The reposition. He may be able to get this. He may be able to get this. 4 seconds. He's got